injured in an accident, you may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show. Wow. Hi. The Monty Show, live on Wednesday, January 14th. 2026. Kermit the Frog hosting the show today with Jake. How funny is it? Like I probably should warm my voice up better than I do, but it is what it is. If your voice sucks, make sure you call the advocates. No, that's not how that works. If you've been in an accident, and again, somebody yesterday reached out to me and said, you know, I did get hurt at work. I slipped and fell. I broke my kneecap. And my boss is pleading with me not to file a workman's comp case. Bro, I think you're out of your mind. And what did I say? Get to theadvocates.com. Ask them what they think, because that's exactly how they'll handle it. They'll tell you, okay, what are the circumstances? You're going to tell them, hey, here's my situation. Here's what happened. Here's what my boss is telling me. And his boss is the owner of the company. It's a freight. They own a small freight company that operates out of a warehouse. Dude slipped and fell because condensation leaked under the garage door and the loading dock. He slipped and fell and banged his knee and broke his kneecap. And his boss is like, you don't need, no. We're going to handle this in-house. Nah, bro. At least get to the advocates, because if your boss is handling it right, they're going to tell you, hey, nothing to worry about here. But I think we both know when somebody's trying to avoid insurance or trying to avoid paying what you have deserved, because you didn't deserve to slip and fall, right? You do deserve an advocate. Clear, risk-free advice. And you're never going to reach into your pocket to pay the advocates, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So if you got hurt at work, it's workman's comp, theadvocates.com. You got in a car accident, theadvocates.com. You got hit by a semi-truck, your neighbor's dog attacked you, the advocates at theadvocates.com. Good morning, young Jake.
Hello.
How are we today? I'm a little concerned about the voice because it was 58 degrees yesterday in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid who grew up in the Midwest, I know that when it warms up, and then it's going to go back down to like 49, 50 today. Yeah. That bacteria is germinating.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. There's no doubt.
Biologics.
There's no doubt it's rough, dude. Like it's that time of year. The high today in good old Eugene is 49 degrees.
Ooh.
The low is 32, and it's currently 34. So, it's that time of year.
Yeah, I think here in the great state of Washington, where weather is highly unpredictable, yesterday was 59. Today is 53. Tomorrow is 51. Sunshine all the way through next Wednesday.
Venice Parade.
All the way through next Wednesday. This town, I will also say this. I walk my dog every afternoon to just try and get out and clear my head. And so I took my dog on a walk through downtown Seattle, which is where I live. This town is Seahawks crazy. I cannot tell you. All the buildings, like I look out into all the high rises in downtown Seattle. All the tops, some of the middles of the buildings, they're all green and blue. All Seahawks color. People are fired up about the Seahawks in the NFL. And I think it's really interesting, really, really interesting that when you are in an NFL town, it just hits different. Mm-hmm. And you look at, I will tell you, I'm going to Canada this weekend. We're exploring not moving to Canada, but we're going to spend less than probably 24 hours in Canada. We're just going for the weekend. And one of the things that'll be interesting is the game is Sunday. Isn't the game or Saturday night? It's Saturday night. The Seahawks game is Saturday night. 49ers here in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. We get back Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I am really excited to see how this town is on fire, because when the Seahawks are playing in a big game, Pike Marketplace is different. Like 2nd, 3rd Avenue is different. 1st Ave, where all the restaurants are, and it's just different.
Yeah,
It's really, really fun to be in an NFL town when your NFL team is good, right? Like Cleveland isn't really an example.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Cleveland doesn't know what it's like to be excited for a playoff game in the last like 7 years.
100.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
We all know what it is.
Look at that. Kurt Myers is in Puerto Rico. Let's go. Good morning to you, sir. Maury Alvarez, hello. Here in the great state of Florida, we're currently at 59 degrees. We'll get up to the mid-60s today. So
Ooh,
jealous.
I live in Florida. I don't have a winter. I'm better than you guys.
Look, there's Mickey's house.
Ooh.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
Exactly right. Exactly right. But I love being in an NFL town where the Seahawks are actually, I think the Seahawks are one of the best teams left in the playoffs. I think they have a legitimate chance. We'll see what the bye week does to them. Obviously, the Niners are really injured. Real quick, did you see that Fred Warner is eyeing to play if the Niners make it to an NFC Championship game? Didn't he have like a broken leg and a dislocated ankle?
Something like that, yeah.
The 49ers yesterday announced they opened a practice window for Fred Warner to return. And there's a possibility he could return for the NFC Championship game should they make it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, are we really surprised we're talking about Fred Warner, bro? I mean, the guy, I guarantee you the day that he was injured, he's like, okay, well, what's the timeline? And could I possibly get back if we get to a certain point in the playoffs? I guarantee
he is a game changer. There's no other way to look at it. And I think if they somehow, I don't see any way they beat the Seahawks.
Rivalry game, bro. Right. I'm telling you, I agree with you on paper, injuries, everything says the Seahawks should win the game.
They're 7.5 points on 44.5 for the over.
Yeah. I agree.
Any way the Niners can win that game?
The only way the Niners are winning that game is if they create turnovers and extra possessions. That's how they have to go about it. They have to find a way to get to Sam, and they have to find a way to create turnovers. Because if you just play a straight up game, no turnovers, no chaos, you're going to lose that game. But again, I would also say this is a rivalry game. Make no mistake about it. These two don't like each other. There's big time history here. Going on, obviously the Legion of Boom days and just everything that the Niners had to offer. Like, this is a rivalry, and if you've never been to Seattle to kind of understand the dynamic, like, Lumen Field is literally right downtown. Like, you just go down the street 5 minutes and you're at the stadium. So it doesn't surprise me.
I can see it from my balcony.
Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that the whole city is in Seahawks colors right now, and people are hyped. Like, again, you saw the support the Mariners have; they're right there as well. So it's just this whole thing where it's like, okay, the game plan, if you're the Niners, to me, has to be high percentage throws early in the game. You know, get your guys going, get CMC going, get that offense running a little bit, and then you got to find a way to create at least one turnover. That's in their end of the field. Like, you got to get that, not the way the Steelers went down, but you need that, like, you need the Indiana pick six style play. You need the, hey, like, we're going to make a play here that's going to impact the game in a way where it's going to put the Seahawks behind and they're going to be chasing us. At least then they're a little more predictable. But if you just play a straight up game, it's going to be tough.
Anyway. And I love Brocktober. I love Brock Purdy, what he brings.
Well, Kyle Shanahan's the guy that we need to be talking about. I mean, his ability to coach the team and get wins out of this team when we're sitting here talking about Fred Warner potentially coming back and not having been part of the game plan for how long. Your wide receivers not being part of the game plan, CMC basically being the whole offense, and you having to figure it out with also Rans is absolutely insane. So, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to get blown out by the Seahawks. But I agree. I do think this is going to be a difficult one to get by, no doubt.
Well, and I also think that you have to, if you are, Seattle's obviously going to be very good defensively. They always are very good defensively. I think that team is incredibly well coached. I don't see any way the Niners can come in here and win. I really don't. Like all
tough.
The other games, like even the other Saturday game, Buffalo at Denver, that's 1.5 with a guy like Josh Allen as dinged up as they are as well. I mean, losing Gabe Davis to a torn ACL is a huge loss for that offense. But you can see ways that they'll make plays. They'll grind it out defensively. Like, I think Denver's going to win that game by a touchdown, but you can see that. I don't see any way the 49ers can come into what is going to be a loud, obnoxious atmosphere. This town is on fire for the Seahawks, and I think it is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Incredibly difficult for them to do that. Monty's new national anthem will be "Oh Canada." I wanted to go to the Canucks game. I don't know what is going on in Canada on Saturday, but it's like it is a hockey day, essentially. The Oilers are in Vancouver.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about going, but I'm not staying over Saturday night. I'm going up Friday night, coming back Saturday.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, and I'd rather, this is probably not something I should say out loud, but I'd rather watch the Seahawks game on TV than be at the Canucks Oilers game in person.
Yeah. What's the weather in Vancouver? I mean, it's got to be winter, right? Like
what do you mean?
Like winter? Like it's probably cold, isn't it?
No, it's going to be very mild, actually. It's going to be, dude, we don't have, I know people don't want to hear me say it, but we don't have winter anymore. We really do not. Vancouver
is empty.
Vancouver will be 50 degrees today, bright sunshine for the next week. Friday, it'll be 50. Saturday, it'll be 50. Sunday, it'll be 50 and bright sunshine.
Okay. Pele will be comfortable up there in Canada then.
That's what I'm
cool.
saying.
That's
Taking
cool.
the Beamer, you don't have
cool.
to have any kind of visa, or you can actually get into Canada with their driver's license, although I will bring my passport, but you know.
They ask you lots of questions at the border as to what I understand when you go into Canada.
Well, look, if they need to do a rectum test, let them. I'm bringing the dogs, so let them test the dog's rectum. Doesn't matter.
What the fuck are you, Ranger Rick?
Yeah, like, hello. Let them ask their questions. Go Hawks. Yeah, Cody, I think the Seahawks are very good. I think it'll be Seahawks. I don't know how to feel about the Chicago Bears. I don't know. Again, I can't see the LA Rams going into a frigid Chicago and winning. The Rams historically, hell, as a kid, the Rams came into Chicago to play the Bears.
The Bears
in '85, and we absolutely dismantled them in frigid temperatures, just like we're going to get Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a hard time seeing the Rams, but Puka Nacua is playing out of his mind. Right? Matt Stafford is playing really good football. It can happen. And their defense is very good. But when it's cold and you haven't played in that cold, you cannot prepare for it. If I were the Rams, I would have spent as much time in Chicago this week as possible.
Yeah, I think the game comes down to the Bears defense. I mean, it's a tale of two halves against the Packers, right? Like the defense didn't really show up in the first half. Shows up in the second half, basically shuts them down, only allows one touchdown. And obviously that it could have been more if McManus actually did his job and made a kick, but he didn't. And I look at this game and what terrifies me and excites me at the same time is the prospect of, hey, well, if the Bears show up, like if we can get second half Bears team in the first half against the Rams, the Bears are going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. But this team, for whatever reason, just is a little bit inconsistent in how they show up.
Slow start.
And it's again, you're not in the playoffs, you cannot afford, as you get deeper, to get down 21-3 to a Rams team. You will lose that game. You will not come back from that deficit against the Rams. It needs to be a one-score game most of the game, unless you find a way to get ahead by multiple possessions like that, if you want to win the game.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the the Rams, excuse me, when you look at the Rams, they did not play a cold weather game all year. They did not play a cold weather game all year. Yeah. And you look at their last games: home for Arizona, at Atlanta, dome, at Seattle. It was not cold and it was not rainy in that game. So you just start looking at the way that this game is going to play out. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble. They're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with the cold. I mean, the Lions game was in LA, at the Cardinals, at Carolina, Tampa, Seattle, at San Francisco, New Orleans, Jacksonville, at Baltimore. Okay, well, that game was October 12th.
Not winter.
They haven't played a cold weather game. And I think that's going to be, and it's supposed to be, feels like 2 degrees at kickoff in Chicago. That's not good. It's
and
going
as
to
you
be.
can see, I'm going through some shit right now.
And if you're the Bears, if you're the Chicago Bears, you're really hoping that it rains or excuse me, snows at that point. Because looking at AccuWeather right now, it's going to feel like 5 degrees. And by the time the game is over, it's going to feel like -2 degrees. I don't see any way that they very cold. The description of the forecast: very cold, intermittent snow and flurries. Take precautions, as it will be dangerously cold wind chills that could, amongst other things, cause frostbite to expose skin. You can't tell me the Rams are going to go there and win a game. Maybe I'm being biased, and I am here, but maybe I'm being biased. Okay, James, do you do anything besides bitch and moan? I'm just curious. I read your paid comment. You're not, guy, for once in your life, just exist. Like, you complain every day. It's the time of day. It's the paid. It's this or it. Can you just exist one day? Just for one day. Can you just make a resolution tomorrow on the show? Can you just promise that you will not complain? One day. That's all I'm asking. One day. Without complaining about it. Like, how are you at a point in your life in your 90s where you're so miserable that you are quite literally complaining about something that didn't happen? Help me understand it.
I'm not sure there is understanding it.
Every day you complain about something.
Nah, show's too early. Don't read my comments. I mean, come on, dude. Oh, now we're spinning your comments.
What does that mean?
I complain about everything in my comment yesterday. No. I was complimenting Jake. Stop spinning.
It's not everything. You find you're the curmudgeonly grandmother who's like, oh wow, this is a beautiful house. Too bad you're not going to be able to keep it clean. Oh man, that's a beautiful dog. He smells. Okay. So you think because you agreed with Jake about creatine that you get to bitch and moan the rest of the day?
Come on, bro. What the fuck? What? Come on.
Okay. If you don't understand at this point in your life, what are you, 78 years old, I think?
I personally believe that just because I complimented Jake on creatine in the Iraq, that allows me to complain about everything in my mother on the show. Come on. I know. This is a crazy take. I know. You could comment things that are productive to the conversation that, pertain to like the Lion or the Rams opportunity in this game against the Bears. So,
I think it's interesting that James is always the guy that you're a curmudgeon. That's the right word. You're Aunt Edna. Maybe we'll stop calling you the semen demon now, and we'll start calling you Aunt Edna. Because, yeah, like, look, Bavakwa, you don't spin my comments. Creatine's great. No, it's not reading his stuff. James is a big part of the show. But it just, it riles me a little bit when the first comment you make today is, they don't read my paid comments. Bullshit. Okay. Cody, as a Hawks fan, I'm glad we don't play the Rams right now. Go Bears. Yeah, the Rams would be tough. Now it's this is why I should have just ignored it, because now it's turning into a James conversation. James, I know you
every day.
I know you and J2H used to be in love, but the honeymoon period has ended.
Go play intramurals, brother.
Oh, Jake, I'll drink your creatine, boy. One request. Oh, Jake.
Biologics.
Can you put on a Walmart manager vest for me?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not doing that, bro. Sorry, can't be done.
Stir that creatine, boy.
You gotta get stroked. Honestly, I'd start stroking guys.
Oh, Jake, the way you shake that creatine. Do it for me, Daddy.
Probably too much.
Well, that's the issue, isn't it?
Probably too much.
Yeah.
Should we keep going with NFL, because this Mike Tomlin fired by the Steelers thing?
He resigned. He wasn't fired.
Same thing.
What?
He wants a TV job. He did resign. He was going to get fired,
as he should have been.
Right. And I think did he overstay his welcome? I don't think he overstayed his welcome, but I think it's really interesting that here's Caleb Williams living his best life. And I just wanted a reason to play this clip today because the Rams game is going to be really tough. But Mike Tomlin, no longer the head coach of the Steelers. And immediately, what's the first question that's asked? And I almost, because Jake ripping Pat McAfee yesterday actually forced me to watch the Pat McAfee show for 35 seconds when they were talking about different things. What's the first question that I heard asked on multiple shows yesterday about Mike Tomlin? Aaron Rodgers going to come back?
No.
Who cares? What is Aaron Rodgers got to do with Mike Tomlin resigning?
Well, the obvious inference is that, hey, well, Tomlin got fired or resigned, and is it time for the Steelers to burn it down? And I maintain that it is. I think
have Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I know.
If you ask Aunt Edna, Mason Rudolph's the greatest quarterback that's ever, happened and stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that for the Steelers, the conversation right now is what are you doing with the organization, moving forward? Like, are you going to continue to try to patchwork it and not do a full rebuild? Are you gonna continue to deal with the cap implications with all the money you've spent on defense? Or are you going to move on from those guys and kind of reset it? And to me, you don't get to have it both ways when your mentality is we're not going to fire our coaches, right? Like, we're going to keep dude 18 years and, he's never had a losing season, but we don't win enough playoff games and we're not Super Bowl competitive. So the Steelers are the definition of a franchise that loves to live in the gray area in sports. Hey, we win enough to be relevant, but we don't win enough to be champions. And to me, that's just not a way to live your life, in my opinion. I would rather be, yeah, like we're doing everything we can do to win. And at least then, if it doesn't work out in the playoffs, we can say, hey, we left it all out there, in terms of the front office. We left it all out there in terms of our players and coaches. Like, we did everything we could. We just weren't the better team that day. And I don't feel like you can say that right now when it comes to DK, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, when it comes to that defense, when it comes to Mike Tomlin. So for me, if I'm the Steelers, I'm taking the opportunity now that Tomlin resigned / got fired to reset the organization and the roster. I just think that you're sitting here living in a fantasy land if you think that this roster is good enough to compete at the top of the NFL when you look at what other teams have. It's just not.
They have a huge salary cap issue in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. I mean, it's so lopsided. That defense is so overpaid. You're going to have to make some tough decisions now. Like Cam Hayward's a very interesting decision. He is, that's a guy that obviously is a productive dude in the middle of your defensive line. He can still play, but do you want to continue to pay him? Do you want to continue to pay TJ Watt? I think it's a very, very interesting question. One of those two guys probably has to go, and it's probably Hayward. I think most of us agree that TJ Watt is a franchise guy.
Lifer.
I think that's very true. But you start looking at the Steelers' salary cap, and you quickly understand that in no way, shape, or form is Aaron Rodgers problematic. The fact that you're paying TJ Watt $42 million is a problem. The fact that DK's getting 31 and Highsmith is getting 20 and Hayward's getting 20 and like Jalen Ramsey making 17.
But the issue is that I agree financially Aaron Rodgers isn't a problem, but it becomes more problematic publicly for Aaron Rodgers and the organization when you're paying that much on defense and you can't figure out how to score the ball against a really good defense.
Well,
and
you might want to get an offensive line. You might want to get an offensive line.
Yeah,
and the reality is when you pay TJ Watt $42 million, and I think his dead cap number is $94 million, when you're paying a defensive end 14% of the salary cap, this is why you don't have a running back.
Yeah.
This is why you're thin on the offensive line. Aaron Rodgers is off their cap. Like he's not somebody that is a problematic. What did he make? $14 million last year. He's not nearly a problem for them. Their biggest issue is you start looking, obviously DK Metcalf's their highest paid offensive player, right? But then you have to go down to like Freiermuth at $11 million to find another highly paid. Like Jonnu and Freiermuth are probably redundant. That's $22 million of salary cap between two tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You look at Jaylen Warren, $7 million and not a lot of production there. Like, I think Mike Tomlin had to go. They needed a change. I don't think he'll coach in the NFL this year. I do think he's going to television, but I don't know where you go here because, and we'll see. I don't pretend to believe that Mike Tomlin's an elite NFL head coach. I don't believe that John Harbaugh is an elite NFL head coach. I just don't. I think Mike Tomlin is a good head coach, not an elite head coach. I think when we start looking at, Baltimore's a very interesting situation, right? If you're Baltimore, how do you not hire Kevin Stefanski? Because this situation in Baltimore, I think the situation in Baltimore is at a critical point. And the fact that they fired that scumbag John Harbaugh, and then you have the owner and Steve Bisciotti almost taking a victory lap about it yesterday.
If Tyler Loop makes that field goal, is John Harbaugh still here coaching this team?
For a week.
For a week. Okay.
Dude. For a week. And having watched most of that press conference, I can tell you, like, he talked openly about how he fired John Harbaugh on the phone because he did not want to wait another day He did not want to wait another day. So he fired John Harbaugh on the phone and apologized to John Harbaugh for doing it on the phone. John said it's no big deal because John was at his house, and Bisciotti said, I didn't want to have to wait to make a time work for us to get back together in person. Like, he was done with John Harbaugh. And you listen to Bisciotti talking about Lamar Jackson, just listen to how bluntly he talks about this contract.
Mark made it clear to Lamar that when we get down here talking to him, I think he's texting Lamar after every interview, whether it's Zoom or in person. And I think he's getting some opinions from Lamar. I said to Lamar last night, when they call me up from Florida, you better get your ass up here too. Because if you want to do the interviewing, these are going to be full-day meetings like they were 18 years ago. And they go from department to department to department, right? So I said to Lamar, you can jump on my plane or find another way to get up there. But if you're that interested, then we're going to get a schedule. He's going to call me up. He's going to offer you the same luxury. And I said, I hope you take it. And he said, yes, sir. I think I will. So we'll find out.
I mean, Lamar, you want to be, here are the criteria. The criteria. If you want to be involved in the head coaching search, and we missed the first bite there because Jake's terrible at cutting audio. He essentially said about 45 to a minute and a half before that, he said, I told Lamar, your contract will be done. It will be renegotiated before free agency. Because we have a lot of roster decisions to make, and $75 million in dead cap is not happening. We are not taking, essentially, Lamar Jackson, if they don't touch his contract, would take 25% of their salary cap. And Lamar apparently has been open to that, but he said, if I'm going to do that, I want to be involved in the head coaching search. I want to have input into who gets hired. And so Bisciotti, as you heard there, said, okay, well, then you need to be here. Because what Lamar, I think, wants is, okay, well, you just interviewed a coach, call me and I'll tell you if I want to play for him or not. And Bisciotti said, no, we're not doing that. You're going to be here. You're going to go through all of the interviews with him. Because what happens, and you probably don't care about this, but what happens when an NFL franchise interviews a guy to be their head coach, he goes and talks to 5 different areas. He goes and talks to the business department. He goes and talks to the general manager, obviously. He sits with the owner. Like the Bears had the captains interview Ben Johnson. Before they hired him, as part of the hiring process, the group of captains that were on the Bears, including Caleb and Moore, actually interviewed Ben Johnson. And I think it's the exact right way to go about it. And Lamar, I think Lamar wants to be updated and then say, yeah, you can hire this guy. And Bisciotti was like, yeah, we're not doing that. You want input? Get your ass to Baltimore. Sit in on the interviews. Go through because what did he say there? It's an entire day process. You come up here and you want input, you put in the sweat equity then. And I think it's exactly the right way to handle it. I think the fact that they fired that scumbag John Harbaugh was the exact right move. And if Lamar doesn't want to renegotiate his contract, he's going to. Because Lamar Jackson, I am as convicted as I have ever been about it. I don't believe he will ever win a Super Bowl. And maybe I put it this way. The team that Lamar Jackson is on will not win a Super Bowl because of Lamar Jackson. It will be because they have an elite defense. But it will not be because how singularly elite Lamar was in the playoffs, because he does not have the playoff skill set that's required. Cannot stand in the pocket and accurately deliver the football in the face of pressure. It's just not who he is. And Lamar, look how little he practiced the last 6 weeks of the season. Every single week. What were we all doing every single week? Oh, well, Lamar's not going to practice Monday through Thursday. Hey, look at that. He practiced on Friday. Every single week.
Mhm.
And you cannot win at a high level in the NFL if your quarterback is missing Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday practice.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I also think that there wasn't a lot of incentive for them to be running him out there either, with where they were at in the season. I mean, obviously,
Well, they were in it till what, the last 2 weeks of the year.
yeah.
If Luke makes that kick, right? If Luke makes that kick, they're in the playoffs. That was the genesis of the question.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. But I think that in the bigger picture, they you're just look, the Ravens have to figure out what style of football they're actually going to play. I think that I agree with everything you're saying about Lamar in the playoffs, but he's an MVP caliber quarterback in the regular season. So you need to deal with it and you need to figure out how to make it work.
What is
And
making it work?
Making it work means you got to figure out a game plan on offense in the playoffs that works with what you have. Like, you've got a guy that can get you there basically every year. Like, he's gotten them there basically every year. They just struggle in the playoffs because they play really good defenses. And yeah, his
And they forget to run the football.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's easy when you're Lamar Jackson for all the blame to fall on you, because the highlights that we play are of Mark Andrews dropping a ball on the goal line, or of you throwing an interception or whatever, because you're in a bad position in that game. But the truth is that Lamar, what happens if they do figure it out with Lamar? What happens if they can figure out, okay, well, this is Lamar Jackson's skill set. This is what it looks like for us to win a playoff game on offense.
But why is it fair to question the exact same thing with Josh Allen? Because that's what we're doing, right? Like, I mean, if you look at,
they're losing.
Well, but Josh Allen's the reason they're not winning, because he's had this record of throwing terrible interceptions, right? And you're the quarterback and you're making 25% of the salary cap. It's not good enough not to be good enough. I think it's a huge deal. I think when we look at guys like Aaron Rodgers and we want to blame Aaron Rodgers, we want to blame Lamar Jackson, we want to blame Josh Allen. Why are we doing that? Because they're paid well and they need to perform. Why are the Chiefs a dynasty? As much as I hate Patrick Mahomes and his sexually assaulting allegedly brother, well, they're a dynasty because Patrick Mahomes is an elite quarterback and he performs at a high level in the most sensitive of moments in the NFL playoffs. It's why Tom Brady's a legend, right? It's why Lamar Jackson's not a postseason guy. It's why I always say on the show, I want nothing to do with Lamar Jackson when the game's on the line. If I need a pass completed from the pocket during the NFL playoffs, fuck me. I am not calling Lamar Jackson. That ain't the dude that I give me Mason Rudolph.
But they don't have that luxury.
Hey, give me Alan Bowman.
Yeah, they don't have that luxury, bro. This is my point. Like, I don't, again, I'm not disagreeing, but
when you say they don't have that luxury, didn't you give that luxury away when you paid him 25% of your salary?
Did, but the point is we're here now. Like, they need to figure it out. Like, we're like, if you're in a place as an organization where you have, because again, Lamar doesn't suck, dude. He's not a bad quarterback. He just hasn't figured out how to win in the playoffs yet.
He's a regular season, but yet, Jake, he's not young. Lamar Jackson's not young. We need to recognize that. He is, what is he? This is his 7th year. Like, this guy is not young. He has made a ton of money. They're paying him $260 million. When does he figure it out?
When do they figure it out, bro? It's not it's not just him. Like, yes, he's part of the problem, but it's an organizational issue. Like, they have a history since probably
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, since that, of not winning. Like, that's and again, I look, I just am past saying, like, like, moving the stick on these guys. Like, okay, cool. Like, if Lamar Jackson's not good enough as an MVP in the league, that's not just on Lamar anymore. Like, he's got to figure it out. He needs to improve his mechanics. I agree with that. You know, he has actually improved a ton as a passer, which nobody likes to talk about. He's improved a ton as a passer. And the issue is that they're dictating to him. They are saying, hey, like don't run as much, Lamar. We need you to pass more. Hey, run more. You're passing too. Like, they're not just letting him play the damn game. Like, that's the issue. Yeah, but dude, you know what? Not everybody's got MVP caliber players, dude.
But he is.
Like,
but this is the problem. Lamar Jackson is an MVP caliber player. He's won multiple MVPs. And then is absolutely dreadful in the playoffs.
Right. And yes, part of that's on him, but part of that's on the organization.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
But they need to learn, I agree, how to run the football more effectively, but they need to put a game plan together that makes sense. Like, how is it that we have, like, did we just forget that they just wasted Derrick Henry in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Did we just forget that they were just incompetent on offense in the playoffs? And part of that is the situations that Buddy finds himself in. How many times were they in 3rd and 10, like 3rd and long? How many times were they playing a team that they should beat, but because, you know, you're not running it effectively, because your guy's fumbling, because, like, it's the definition of a cluster F. Like, we're literally sitting here saying, yeah, well, your MVP caliber quarterback in the regular season can't figure it out in the playoffs.
100%.
Well, maybe it's not just that he can't figure it out in the playoffs. Maybe it's that you held on to John too long, and you need to find a head coach that can actually work with Lamar to get the most out of him.
But isn't that, and I see now we're starting to speak the same language, because I think Lamar Jackson's a franchise caliber quarterback who has to become legendary.
Yeah.
And that's, I would hire Kevin Stefanski. It'd be Kevin Stefanski or somebody like a Clint Kubiak.
I can personally tell you I wouldn't be hiring Mike McDonald to run this organization. I can personally tell you that there is a certain cut of coach.
Yeah, Brian Flores, and I like Brian a lot. Brian Flores is not the right fit here. You need one of the best offensive guys, and that is Stefanski or Clint Kubiak. What ailed Stefanski in Cleveland was the lack of stability in his front office and the relationship between his front office and his ownership. That does not exist in Baltimore.
Why would you hire a Brian Flores or defensive-minded head coach?
Bob Saleh is a popular name there.
Why the hell would you hire that type of head coach if you have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback? You're an idiot. Have you not watched
that in John Harbaugh?
Yeah. Have you not watched what Ben Johnson's doing in Chicago? Have you not seen what Kyle Shanahan's able to make up for, even with all the injuries? I mean, come on, dude. Like, this is not rocket science, bro. Are you not seeing the Lions struggle with Dan Campbell as their head coach right now because he doesn't have Ben Johnson? This is not rocket science, brother. Like, hire an offensive-minded head coach, hire a baller DC, and go back to the playoffs. This does not have to be. I grow tired in the NFL of these organizations making it harder than it needs to be. You guys get in your own way. You come up with all these issues, all these excuses, all this drama. Like, bro, offensive-minded head coach, baller DC. It's not that hard. If you're the, who else are we looking at? If you're the Browns, you probably need someone that's got some experience, dude. Like,
did you hear this Browns situation?
It's incredible.
They're talking about hiring Mike McDaniel. He is apparently the front runner for the Browns job. Mike
McDaniel is a hell of a drug.
How? Like, what this is, Mike McDaniel's the guy you want to, it's very similar. Josh McDaniels and Mike McDaniels are the exact same guy. I want him as my offensive coordinator, but you can all the way off as my head coach, because I'm not hiring Mike McDaniel to be my head coach. Not in a powder keg like Cleveland.
Yeah. You want to waste another talent at quarterback? Hire Mike McDaniel. You actually want to improve and you want to You want to grow the organization because this is my point in Cleveland, dude. This is not a head coach problem anymore, dude. I agree. Stefanski did some things the wrong way. The front office did some things the wrong way. That relationship was clearly fractured for several seasons. But this is an ownership problem, dude. You're talking about the same group of ownership here who did the Deshaun Watson contract. Like, what are you doing?
But couldn't you say that about, like, I think Arizona, like, look at Arizona. Look at Arizona. Arizona is a place where if you're John Harbaugh, you're not answering their call. You see a 480 number come through, you're like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm not. You're going to have to get like a Clint Kubiak. Arizona is going to hire a guy who is a coordinator, who is a first-time head coach, who is thirsty to be a head coach. That's who's going to take the job, because you have so much dysfunction there between ownership. Kyler Murray on its own is an absolute dumpster fire. I could see them, a Matt Nagy, a Clint Kubiak,
Mike McDaniel.
That's who you're going to end up. Somebody like Atlanta. Who does Atlanta go to? Atlanta's looking for a veteran guy. John Harbaugh is probably the guy I would hire if I were Atlanta.
Well, if you're Atlanta, though,
where I would go.
With Matt Ryan in the conversation now, I think that they're an organization that I wouldn't be surprised if they hired a name that nobody's expecting. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Ryan knows a lot of people. I agree that they can't do it. That doesn't mean they won't do it, right? He knows a lot of people. He has a lot of relationships, and he knows what he wants out of a head coach. And I think
Penix coming off of another major knee injury.
Yeah, if you're Atlanta, you need to move on from Penix. It is what it is. You were. I said it when they did it. I said it when they did it. You don't draft left-handed quarterbacks to play in the NFL. Don't do it. I don't care.
It's very rarely worked.
I don't care how good the seam pass from Penix was in college. We're not in college anymore. We're in the NFL, and he's not good enough. It's very clear.
And he's not going to be able to stay healthy. He's not going to be able to stay healthy. And if I'm the Atlanta Falcons and you're moving on from a guy like Raheem Morris, you need a veteran. And I think, again, I think the exact right guy exists for every opening. And I think John Harbaugh is the exact right guy for Atlanta. I think Stefanski's the exact right guy in Baltimore. Cleveland, if it were me, I would probably, boy, that's a tough one, because I would probably try to hire a head coach who could get Mike McDaniel to be the offensive coordinator. And again, I think we live in these utopic situations where we want, like this Tommy Rees. I would not be hiring Tommy Rees, who is said to be the number 2 candidate. I'd be looking at somebody like I don't even know. You're not like Todd Monken's a bust as a head coach. I mean, you're not getting one of the top cut guys here. I am telling you now, I would be hiring that's really tough. Who's the best available quarterback guy? Probably, his name just went right out of me. Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, I would hire in Cleveland, and I would try to get Mike McDaniel to be my offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like if you're what's another open job? Las Vegas. You need an ass kicker. You need a Bob Saleh. You need a Vance Joseph. You need somebody to go in there, and a Brian Flores would be a huge hire there. I just think that's the guy that you need. But I think, like, what do you do? What do you do if you are the New York Giants? Because can you compete for John Harbaugh? If it's Atlanta and New York,
New York has the edge
for John Harbaugh?
Yes, no question about it. New York's a better job. Yeah, 100%. Yep. You have a better quarterback situation. It's New York, not Atlanta. Like, it's a big job, big market, big job. And again, it's what everyone always says about the Giants, right? Tiffany organization in the NFL. If you're the guy that brings them back, if you're the guy that has them back in the playoffs with Jackson Dart, you're going to be a hero. So to me, it's like John, at a minimum, you can say a lot of things about John Harbaugh. Dude knows how to get to the playoffs. There's no question about that. He's proven that.
if you're the Giants, okay, you can have anybody you want. Who do you hire?
I mean, I'd probably be going offensive, like I said. I mean, I would rather probably have Mike McCarthy than John Harbaugh. But, John is said to be a front runner for the Giants position, and it wouldn't surprise me because that's kind of their brand. They like the older, been around the block guy. And Mike's been around the block too, but I just think it's a different vibe between John and Mike. And I think that the reality is whoever you hire, again, has to take this team to the playoffs. That's the whole point. Any organization.
Well, anybody you hire in New York has to develop Jackson Dart. Period. End of story. You have to, because I love Jackson as a college football player. His mentality is broken in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, if you're going to continue to run yourself into brick walls every week, multiple times, your career's over.
Yeah, if you're going to frequent the blue 10 every week, you're not going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah, and you look at their two stars, and they're both guys that run themselves into really bad physical situations.
But again, if you're the Giants, you got to be accounting for the fact that the torn ligament situation on your roster is going to continue on that playing surface. Everyone knows it. It's been talked about. It's not new. Like, you got to have depth. You got to have a guy. You got to have your Kyle Shanahan. Again, not to gloss the guy, but he's done an incredible job. I mean, just the fact that they're in the divisional round is ridiculous. I mean, it's just crazy. So I just think that any more, if you want to win, man, you got to be able to make it work with no matter what the name on the back of the jersey is, dude. It's got to happen.
But isn't this the Seattle Seahawks? They have a really good defensive guy as their head coach, and they have one of the best offensive coordinators and quarterback guys.
Mm-hmm.
I am personally flipping the script on that. I'm much more in the Kyle Shanahan, Bob Saleh way of thinking. And if I am the New York Giants, I'm hiring Mike McCarthy, and I'm trying to get Mike McDaniel to be my offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And if Mike McCarthy doesn't want Mike McDaniel to be his offensive coordinator, because I think, again, if we're playing, fill in the blank, again, Atlanta, I'm probably going John Harbaugh. Baltimore, Kevin Stefanski. Like, it feels really easy to me. I look at Cleveland. If I'm the Browns, I'm trying to hire somebody today, and it's Mike McCarthy, right? If I'm the Las Vegas Raiders, it's one of the ass kickers. If I can get Robert Saleh, if I can get Flores, if I can get Vance Joseph, that's the kind of atmosphere I need in Vegas, right? If I'm the New York Giants, hell, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I think there's a lot of questions to be asked about what they need. I think Miami, that's a place where a Clint Kubiak, hell, Chris Shula is supposedly the number one quarterback or coaching candidate in Miami, the defensive coordinator of the Rams, which you understand they have one of the elite units in the NFL. But he is Don Shula's, I think, grandson. To hire a Shula to be the head coach of the Dolphins, why would you not? Right? That makes a lot of sense. And then there's the Giants. And you have to ask yourself, if you're the Giants, don't you have to hire the best available offensive guy that you can find right now? Because, again, Stefanski's a really good fit in New York, in my opinion. I think him and Mike McCarthy are two really good fits in New York. I don't think either one of them will be available, because I actually think if you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're probably going to hire a defensive guy. They're probably going to hire
probably.
I think the Steelers don't mind a young defensive guy, a la Mike Tomlin, who was there for 19 seasons. Right? Wasn't he a defensive coordinator in Minnesota when he got hired to be the head coach of the Steelers? I could absolutely see who's a Jesse Minter with the Chargers. I could absolutely see that.
I
could see somebody like Tennessee. That's where a guy like a Cliff Kingsbury, Matt Nagy, That's where those guys, I think, would wind up. But who knows? I think there are a lot of really tough jobs to take. The giant job seems like a great job. I don't think it's a great job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a great job. I really don't.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a big market job. You know, that's an eye of the beholder situation. If you're Mike McCarthy, you feel like you can go in there and affect change and get the most out of Jackson Dart and take this organization back to the playoffs and all that, then hey, maybe it's a good job for you, But it's certainly not a job for everybody. It's certainly not, I think the pool of candidates that the Giants are looking at is not deep. I think it's probably only 2 or 3 guys that they are seriously considering, and that's it, and yeah, I mean, John Harbaugh is certainly on that list.
What's the best open job in your opinion?
I would say the Ravens is probably the best open job.
Ravens or Giants, I would think.
Yeah, I think the Ravens. Well, I think the Ravens right now, from a football perspective, is a better job than the Giant job. I think you're further along.
Certainly.
You've got an MVP at quarterback. You've got ownership that clearly wants to win and is motivated to win, and also is going to hold people accountable and just has that kind of vibe in the organization. Now,
Giants or Steelers?
I would probably be Giants over the Steelers. I like Jackson Dart a lot. Yes, you got to change his mentality, but again,
Cap
it's New York.
situation.
Yeah, cap situation. That the thing about the Giant job is that front office, in my opinion, is
Joe Shane.
Very, very average. I mean, very average.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's very difficult. I would agree with that. I think the worst of the big jobs is Pittsburgh because their cap situation is so upside down.
well, and they're just not. They're not like bitter to win. They're not like pissed off that they're not winning. They're much more.
You don't have a quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You don't have a solid cap situation in Pittsburgh. You just missed, I think, a real opportunity with the roster you built, and it failed miserably, right? Because now I don't think there's any doubt, as much as we've battled over Aaron Rodgers, that didn't work out because you didn't win.
Yeah.
Now, it didn't cost you anything. You were paying a quarterback $14 million no matter what. But you don't have a running back, you don't have a quarterback, you don't have an offensive line, and you're way over the top on defense. That job's not a great job. And you made the playoffs, so your draft pick is not great.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's going to be tough. I also think, and I think this matters too, it's not like Mike Tomlin's looking for another head coaching job. Adam Schefter said yesterday he is going to get hired. He's probably going to go work for CBS. We'll see where he ends up. But Mike Tomlin's going to take a year off and do TV. So it'll be interesting to see where you go.
Yeah.
It would. All right. In the comments section, first of all, please hit the like button here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. How about that? An hour of NFL talk.
There you go.
An hour of NFL talk. How about that? What do you think is the best open NFL job? In the comments section, after you hit the like button, what do you think is the best NFL open job? Would you hire, if you're the Cleveland Browns, would you hire Mike McDaniel? God, I don't think I would do that.
No.
Not as your head coach.
Now, again, they will. They will.
Look
Because
at
it's the
that.
Browns.
Look at that. Calamoni dipped 20 Monty Show members. Hey, I would also like to say congratulations on losing your linebacker to BYU. Speaking of which, Calamoni, how you doing, man? We see you occasionally, but it's always good to see you. Oh, look at that. Oak State James.
Oh, yeah, that NFL talk. Thank you for not complaining, James.
He probably hates that I use that voice box for his comments. It's fine. YouTube keeps blocking me from commenting, saying subscribers only mode. Then I have to close it and open it, the stream again. Been a subscriber for a few years. Yeah, Caleb.
It looks like you're on a different account, though. That might be the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if you have multiple accounts or not. But yes, we always are in subscriber mode. It's what keeps bots out. You have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. Yeah. Calamoni, good to see you. We appreciate you supporting the show. If you're not a member, he just gifted 20 Monty Show memberships, and I see everybody sucking them up. Look at you, hyenas. Look at you, hyenas. Look at everybody taking the memberships. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you. Real quick, because this is going to be me being a bitter red ass, and I'm curious. I know where this is going to go. I know where this is going to go. And I almost hesitate to even ask. Because let's make something very clear. And here is my honest, unvarnished opinion about Marcus Freeman, the head coach at Notre Dame. I think he is a good coach who at some point will likely be an elite college football coach. But there is going to be a trail of tears to his greatness. The pain train is a-coming. And there's a lot of people who will tell you that Marcus Freeman's interviewing for NFL jobs. I would point out that Marcus Freeman has a press conference today at Notre Dame. If he were interviewing for NFL jobs, do you think he'd be having a press conference at Notre Dame today? I'm going to say he wouldn't be. He had a massive 2 days of signings out of the portal. They are the one, or depending on how you grade guys, they're either the number 1 portal class or the number 2 portal class.
Oh, but they haven't added anybody. What the hell is he doing? Notre Dame's going to suffer and burn to the ground.
Well, look, he's kicking a wrestling coach's ass, allegedly. Monty, that was allegedly. It's not true.
And his name is John C.
No charges were. The video clearly shows Marcus did not do what he was. And real quick, did you guys see? Do you know the story I'm talking about? Marcus Freeman's kid is a wrestler. Marcus Freeman goes to one of his son's wrestling meets. A coach who is a We Suck at Purdue alumni, alumni, alleged that Marcus Freeman committed battery against him, hit him, made physical contact. The video evidence clearly shows that's not what happened. But what the video evidence also clearly shows is this coach berating Marcus Freeman's kid and Marcus Freeman's wife, walking them out into a vestibule.
A vestibule.
And then they have an altercation where Marcus Freeman did nothing wrong.
We don't take any shit.
The cops and the prosecutor said, there's nothing here. Oh, did I mention that it comes out that this Purdue loser recruited Marcus Freeman's son, and Marcus Freeman's son wouldn't go to his school?
Oh.
And so the coach was taking some measure of revenge, if you will. It's ridiculous. So A, nothing, Burger. But B, Marcus had done nothing in the portal. Nothing in the portal. And then the last 2 days, absolutely dominant. What?
It's just so predictable. Did you really think the guy was going to do nothing the whole portal window, that they were going to add nobody, that he was just, letting his roster burn to the ground? Come on, dude. Have some faith in the guy.
Listen, jerky. It wasn't until Notre Dame was crystal bald. Notre Dame media is disgusting.
I knew today would be shitty.
And hey, bro, I do a Notre Dame podcast, and I pulled out my crystal ball, and
Length and girth.
it still says we're fucked, and I don't know what to do about that.
Keeping a book right now, we ass.
That's what Notre Dame media is. And the predictions, and listen, Marcus Freeman's not going to the NFL. He's holding a press conference today where he's going to update the portal, update the team. And here's the reality. And most of you always tell me, oh, Monty, you're a delusional Notre Dame fan. Ah. There's not a team in this country that is better prepared to win a national championship next season, to be playing for a national championship 1 year from now, than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame, our mother.
The recruiting class, the portal, CJ Carr. He's now got a depth of wide receivers. The defense is clearly going to be better. It's going to be tough for Notre Dame not to just absolutely rip your intestines out of your butthole next season.
There is no question.
Too graphic? Probably too graphic.
James.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, Oak State, James. I didn't mean to. Wait, is there a pay? Wait, I don't see. Wait, I could be wrong. Hold on. Clear the eyes.
I really don't care if you think it's sus.
I don't see a paid comment. I just want to check. Anyway, it's going to be very difficult for the University of Notre Dame football team next year not to just run through people's face, because they're going to be very good. They're going to be very good. You know, it would be nice to see BYU beat Notre Dame. Okay, next comment. The real awkward guy. That's funny. We know Texas and Arch are going to win. They're going.
Texas is back.
Vegas Kane.
Well,
dude, you got to be living well. You're not going to win the national championship and stuff, but you got to be excited, right? Good to see you, Vegas Kane. That voice sounded exactly like John Kennedy. There you go. Mikkel Schwinger, who routinely says heinous things on Twitter. Hey, off topic. My daughter is in Leadon for a few months. Where the hell is Leadon?
London.
Oh, is that what you meant, London?
Yeah.
How did you score the reservation at Mr. Chow's?
Hey, player.
Well, see, you know, I walked in and it was interesting because the woman that was at the front door, her dress just instantly fell to the floor and never mind. It's called Open Table. I went on Open Table. Mr. Chow, you guys. And my wife, I think, probably disagrees with me, but it's the single best restaurant experience. The single best restaurant experience I've ever had. And I've had some good ones. I don't even know how you describe the level of service we got. The food, I had prime rib that had a flour crust with pepper on it. So they take flour, mix in pepper, and they crust the prime rib with it.
Yeah, boy.
Bro. It was incredible. The crispy duck that my wife had at Mr. Chow. The crispy duck, and again, my wife probably has a different opinion, but the crispy duck, that may be the single best dish I have ever had at a restaurant.
What's an erection?
It was so good. And I don't even like duck. Honestly, I always have found duck to be dry.
Yeah, you're more of a ground turkey guy.
I would agree with that. Shut up, Jake. I have always found duck to be dry. The crispy duck at Mr. Chow was a revelation. Honestly, the blood is flowing to the lower extremities just thinking about the strawberry mousse that we have. My wife enjoyed unbelievable libations. It just wasn't the spare rib appetizer. You figure it out, because
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
I don't know what they do to the chefs there. The raw seafood cart, I do not eat raw seafood. The raw seafood cart, I was tempted. Their scallops, I don't know how they make scallops look that good. I went upstairs to take a leak at Mr. Chow, and they have a dining room upstairs as well. They had this seafood, it's the single best restaurant experience I've ever had.
Until one of us passes the fuck out.
It was not that expensive. I think it was less than $200 for both of us. It was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The maitre d', hailing us at a cab. It was awesome. It was awesome. I am telling you.
Okay.
It was amazing. Sergeant Morhew, good to see you. Norge Coog. We'll see if Notre Dame runs through BYU's face at LES, dude. I don't care if you play that game in Baghdad.
Iraq.
Now, injuries, you have to, all things being equal.
Afghanistan.
And everybody mocked me. Everybody not mocked me when I said, you guys go ahead and play the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Go knock yourself out, man. Have a great time. Have a great time.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
Please, you go watch Kalani deep throat a Pop-Tart. Have fun with it.
Oh, man. Yeah, the icing is everywhere, Monty. It was incredible.
Amazing. Notre Dame, they're just getting ready. You guys go play the Pop-Tart Bowl. Notre Dame's going to lift a few more weight. Notre Dame's going to condition. Notre Dame is going to be in their iPads in their playbooks. They're so singularly focused on what they felt like was disrespect to them by the playoff committee that their preparation is well underway already. And again, I am a Marcus Freeman critic. His recruiting cannot be questioned now. Development, that's a different thing. But we can sit here and we can talk about how great BYU is, and they're very good. What happens when they play the best teams on their schedule?
They lose.
Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, how much development are we going to get from Bear Bachmeier this offseason? Because I think it will be significant. And it has to be significant if he's going to catch CJ Carr, who is tied at the top of the Heisman Trophy odds.
And I want that known.
He's a hoe. Because
he's a hoe.
The second half of this past season, CJ Carr was one of the best passers. He was on par with Julian Sayin. Arch Manning was probably the best young quarterback in all of college football the last month of the season. CJ Carr was probably a close second. And now he's going into an offseason where all they're talking about is, we are winning a national championship. What are you doing to make that happen today? And you look at their schedule for Notre Dame, and obviously we don't have the exact dates and times. Here's their home schedule. Rice, Michigan State, the Miami Hurricanes, Boston College, SAMU, and Stanford. Here are their road games. Wisconsin Badgers, Sunday, September 6th. They start the season at Lambeau Field. Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, and that game I think is at Gillette Stadium. Syracuse in the Dome, and BYU at Lavelle. And we'll see exactly when that game gets slotted.
So you have two games on your schedule.
You have the two biggest games on your schedule, without a doubt, are Miami and BYU.
What are the odds that we get another Bavacqua 10-game best run ever rant next season? Do you think that's going to happen, or what do you think?
I do believe. And you guys think what I'm about to say is extreme, or that it's hyperbole. I am dead fucking serious about this. If they lose a game next year, they're going to nail Jesus back on that cross.
And I want that known.
That they will take him out
I'll see you in Valhalla.
He came out of the zombie. Jesus already moved the stone and came out, and then
Iraq.
If they lose a game, the world will stop spinning.
Bavacqua's going to turn up when they lose.
Dude, There will be blood. They will be.
Listen, do we get another speech just like this one right here?
We were shocked, I would say mystified by what happened on Sunday. And just, where my head and heart go, and I know Marcus feels the same way. You just feel for those student athletes on our football team. As I said yesterday, as I said on Sunday, we felt we did everything we could over the course of the season. We lost our first 2 games. We're not hiding.
So you didn't do everything you could.
We lost against a really good Miami team. We lost a nail biter against Texas A&M, 2 great teams by a total of 4 points, and then we did everything we needed to do. We had one of the most dominant 10 games runs in the history of college football.
Shut your ass up, dude. Are you serious with this? Come on. They damn well better go undefeated next season.
Bavakwa.
I don't want to hear from Bavakwa again. We don't need that in our life.
Are you done?
Yeah, now I'm done.
Oh, yeah. I played the Biden. I know you hate it. And that's why I played it, because, you're fat. But, okay.
Just saying.
If this is the kind of red assery that we're going to get.
Bro, you literally said they're going to nail Jesus back on the cross. And you're saying
I was being serious. You were using hyperbole by playing Bavakwa and that stupid, ridiculous. But, greatest 10-game streak we've ever seen. I mean, screw Ohio State's run through the playoff. That's the best 10-game streak we've ever seen. Did you see what we did to Edna's sewing circle? Dude, we took their sewing needles and put them in places that we don't talk about on this show. Like,
Hugh Janus.
Guy, why do you have to talk? Bavakwa. Why do you have to talk? Can you just shut up? Maybe, I know.
Bavakwa.
Hey, Pete, maybe win a basketball game for them. Maybe have your men's basketball program actually. You could put a men's basketball team at Notre Dame. I would like to see Notre Dame, because I don't think we have a men's basketball, or I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure we have a hockey program. I don't think we have a men's basketball program.
What?
Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Joey Harper, who's been a member of the show for 27 months. Joseph, good luck this weekend. I think you're going to beat wholesale ass, but that's just me. This weekend is the beginning of the NFC West Invitational, with the Bears thrown in because they need a 4th for Bridge.
Why would you say something like we were having such a good show, dude? We were focused on Bavakwa. We were we were doing great things with Notre Dame, and then you got to say something like this, dude. Why would you do that to yourself?
Why? Hey, playa, repeat your heart judgment day is coming when Notre Dame goes to pick in the NBA draft, and they will defend his honor. What the?
What are you talking about?
What?
Hey, player!
Notre Dame is going to lose, and I will be at the game. Why are you going to a BYU game?
You need to stop smoking weed while you're commenting on the show, bro.
Seriously. Notre Dame loss will probably happen this week after they play Miami because of the emotional distress of the Miami game. Okay. Bavakwa came out too late with that freaking press conference.
Bavakwa
has a lot to desire. It leaves a lot to be desired.
You're not wrong, bro.
Ooh. Injuries pending. BYU is returning almost every starter. Thankfully, Notre Dame is in Provo. And again, I will just sit here and say, I think it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. When you look at Notre Dame's projected roster depth chart, my question for you is very simple. If you look at our roster for 2026, the defense is so incredibly elite that will carry us. My biggest question is, and I don't, honestly, I don't know that there is going to be, I honestly don't know. I don't know that expectations could possibly be so high. Obviously, we're losing a significant amount of depth at running back. Aeneas Williams is a good back. He's not a Heisman Trophy caliber back. Right. I mean, Kedron Young is going to be very good, but you start looking at the wide receivers, they're legitimately 6 wide receivers deep now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You add some of the dudes that they've picked up, you're in great shape. You're in really good shape at the tight end. And obviously the offensive line has to come together, but that's a dominant unit. And Charles Jagashaw, I think, is going to be probably one of the best offensive linemen in the country.
Yeah, man.
We'll see. I mean,
theoretically, that should be an undefeated schedule. That should be, in all seriousness, that should be a 0-loss schedule. And you should be easily in the CFP. You should be easily, hell, we'll see if it changes by the time next CFP comes around, honestly. But if all things are the same, if we're in the same setup, yeah, I would think that you would be looking at, a top end seed, a good matchup, top end seed, good matchup. Maybe you get a warm up game against the G5 like Oregon did, or
do you know how good Francis Brew is?
No, I don't think, dude. I don't think people are educated on the roster yet. It's
a transfer portal. That's the defensive tackle they got from Pitt. You look at Keon Keeley, the kid from Alabama who should have gone to Notre Dame out of high school, didn't. Quincy Porter from Ohio State. Mylan Graham, we'll see. I don't know what Mylan Graham is going to look like, but dude, I'm telling you, Spencer Prorath, the kicker from Purdue, instantly solves your kicking problems.
Okay, so if all this is true and the roster's amazing and you got all this talent and all that, because we can talk about that for ages, obviously, but what? So the expectation is national championship, or it wasn't a good season?
I think the expectation at Notre Dame next year is that they will win a national championship. And if they don't, it should be incredibly disappointing because he's not done in the portal. They're not done. If he gets Gray, the defensive lineman from Oregon, bro.
Yeah.
Their defense is going to be a murderer's row. And this is why I asked straight, if you're a BYU fan and you're looking at BYU Notre Dame, Bear Bachmeier's your ceiling still. You got to prove it.
Yeah.
You got to prove it. And I just don't think I don't think there's any way in the world that this team loses in September. If you lose in September, Marcus Freeman should resign. If you lose a game in September, Marcus Freeman should resign. What are we even talking about?
Yeah.
Right? You this would be embarrassing if you lose a game. I mean, just the fact that you got Prorath, who I think was 15 of 17, I was reading yesterday at Purdue. I mean, I'm telling you, they do not have outside. I think running back, they have to prove themselves at running back. I do not see a way that they lose in September. I don't even.
You never know, dude. You never know. They shouldn't lose. It should be a 0-loss season. I agree with all that. But again, that's what we said about this past schedule, right? We said, hey, like, you got 2 games on the schedule. You should be able to beat those teams, and you didn't. So, I just think it is, he's doing what you need him to do. This is the Dan Lanning thing again, right? Like, these guys that get to the CFP with regularity, eventually they're going to break through. You get there enough times, eventually you're going to win. Like, so if I'm a Notre Dame fan, not that I am, but if I was, I would be, my narrative would be, yeah, he's doing what he needs to do this time of year. This is his job. Get guys in the portal, build the roster. So that way you can develop more talent and have a better football team, when week 0 gets here, week 1 gets here. That's what you should be doing right now. And yeah, I think all the video and the narrative around the captains voting not to play in some rando bowl, and Marcus talking about how it's the biggest decision his captains have ever had to make under his coaching tenure. Like you're blowing this thing way out of proportion, dude.
I don't think he is. I actually thought he was very correct on that. I think and again, I know BYU fans will call, they were dodging us. They were scared of us. Yeah, that's why they scheduled you for the next 2 years. They were dodging you. I got news for you. Why did they skip the bowl game? Because they're all in on preparing to win a national championship. That's the beginning and the end of it. They will, in my opinion, they will absolutely crush everything in their way until that Miami game. What is that Miami game? November 7th? That's the entirety of their schedule. It is so critically important. It is so critically important that they win that game. And they're preparing for it right now. And Miami doesn't have a quarterback yet for next season. You have a clear advantage. They're going to lose a bunch of bros to the draft. You have a clear advantage over Miami next year. Clear advantage. There are no excuses anymore. And I'm not trying to be a jerk about this. Marcus Freeman's runway is incredibly short next season. I am telling you, I question his ability to be an elite level head coach. Next year, I'm either going to be completely right or completely wrong. Because you should roll into the college football playoff as one of the top seeds in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You should roll into that playoff. I don't want the bye. I do not want the bye. I think the bye is terrible for you. But you look at the fact that this defensive line, the secondary at Notre Dame next year, I don't know that you'll complete a single pass against them next year. That secondary is incredible. They're going to have to show you they can run the football. But with that offensive line, you should be able to. You're probably going to have one or two of the best offensive linemen in the country. And C.J. Carr is going to compete for a Heisman Trophy. There are no excuses anymore. And if Marcus doesn't, I honestly think, and I understand that BYU fans going to say, oh, we're going to beat your ass in Provo. Okay. When have you ever beat Notre Dame's ass? When have you seen Notre Dame against BYU get embarrassed? It doesn't happen. Right? And I will continue to say this about BYU. You are consistently undersized. Even your best teams, you were not physical enough to handle Texas Tech. What happened to Texas Tech in the playoff? Not nearly good enough. Couldn't score and couldn't play defense. Couldn't keep a team off the board. And an average ass team. But what I am telling you is the excuses for Notre Dame are gone. They are gone. You lose a game next year, let alone you lose a game in September next year, Marcus Freeman should pack his shit and be gone. I don't want to hear excuses about this or, oh, as a coach at a wrestling tournament, don't care. Gone. That's where the bar is. You want to skip this bowl game? I am wholeheartedly down with that. Because every strength session matters. Every Pilates session matters. Every food session matters. Everything matters. It's as simple as that. And I am telling you that I am not willing. Going to the play, it's Notre Dame football, man. Going to the playoffs not good enough. You're not a Big 12 team. Cool, we went to the playoff. Wow, what a great season. All right, cool. Cool. At Notre Dame, the head coach inhaling Pop-Tarts we don't do moral victories. Nor should we. And I will say this about the Texases of the world, the Ohio States of the world, Miami, no. Going to the playoff next year is not good enough.
Roll Tide!
Not good enough for Alabama to go to the playoff and get embarrassed. It's not good enough. We're not here for Georgia to get rolled out of the playoffs. That's not what Georgia football's. The bar is too high for that. The problem between Bama and Georgia, Texas and Notre Dame are in the exact same spot. Stop telling me how elite you are and go win a national championship.
Yeah, the only difference is that Notre Dame's schedule is like 800 times easier.
Completely agree. Ask any team in the Big Ten who all have easier schedules than Notre Dame. Kirk Cignetti playing for a national championship with a cupcake schedule. You want, again, we can sit here and we can play this game all day long. Notre Dame is not going to be scared of BYU. And anybody who wants to sit here and tell you that Notre Dame dodged BYU, they're scared of us.
Sure.
Just keep inhaling the sacrament, my guy, because Notre Dame's not
sucking a ding dong.
Notre Dame's bar isn't going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Nor should it ever be. Right? Like, I just am not, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for, like delusional BYU fan that's like, oh, they're going to lose half their games, Monty. Okay, great. The difference is if Notre Dame loses 2 games, what happened this year when Notre Dame lost 2 games? The season was a complete failure. A complete and utter failure. And you look at somebody like Indiana, let it sink in, Marcus. Indiana's going to win a national championship before Notre Dame does. Let that sink in. And they legitimately, if we're being honest, how many good games were on Indiana's schedule this year? 2. Oregon and Ohio State. Nothing else even matters. There's not another team in the Big Ten that was competitive. So if you're Notre Dame and you're looking down the freeway and Buddy Cignetti with his bowl cut is winning a national championship and you didn't even make the tournament and you don't compete in men's basketball. Oh, Bavacqua's amazing. Is he, though?
Bavacqua.
Yeah, I don't think so. Notre Dame needs to be undefeated next year. You are going to have a significantly different look at Miami. Even the most ardent Miami fan will tell you that. You are going to have devastation on that defense to the NFL draft, and you don't have a quarterback on your roster yet. You'll get one. But I am telling you, Notre Dame's not the scumbags at Penn State. Notre Dame is not, like, if you look at the perennial terrible programs who always disappoint, Notre Dame's above people like Texas. And why is that? Why are they above somebody like Penn State? Because they went to the championship game last year and then completely regressed. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And now you have the best portal class. You have like the number 3 high school recruiting class. And you have a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback. So there is no more excuses.
Yeah.
There's not. There are no more excuses. What do you mean Illinois was good? They were not good. Illinois was not good. And we can again sit here and play this game. And I guess Big Ten fan, here's Illinois' wins in 2025. 30-28 against Tennessee, who was, it's okay, you can say it. Tennessee was a complete disappointment at 8-5.
Yeah.
No quarterback. They lost to Illinois, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. 8-5. Disappointment. Complete disappointment. Western Illinois, Duke, Western Michigan. Illinois gets dismantled by Indiana 63-10.
Now, but Illinois was good, Monty.
USC, Purdue, they lose back-to-back home for Ohio State, 34-16, on the road, 42-25 to Washington. Well, and then they got big wins, right, against Rutgers and Maryland. Oh, that's right. Then they went to a really, really average 4-8 Wisconsin team and lost. And then they somehow miraculously pulled out a win at the car wash and beat Northwestern. Illinois was not good. Illinois was not good.
Yeah. Come on.
What are we even talking about? Notre Dame should be 11-1 or 10-2 next year, if not undefeated. They should be undefeated. Should be undefeated. As an independent, we don't need to use a conference to fall back on when our teams fail. All or nothing. That's it. That's it. And you have the schedule. I will just continue to tell you, you have the schedule to go undefeated. What is there to even talk about when you look at this schedule in 2026? And I will just continue to ask you, what is there even to talk about?
There's not. There's not. They should be undefeated.
Right? You look at the fact that you're playing early in the season. Wisconsin at Lambeau, Rice, Michigan State, at Purdue. Those are your first 4 games. And then you're at North Carolina and you're playing Navy at Foxborough. Right? You don't have dates yet for Stanford, SMU, Miami, or Boston College. So I'm telling you, there's no excuses. You lose a game in September, Marcus again should just pack his stuff and leave. You know, dude.
Pack everything up. We're out of here.
You can keep saying this. Illinois was not a good team last year.
No.
Yes, I agree. Oregon and Ohio State, but that was my point. You need to highlight games on your schedule. And then you need to absolutely take every other team apart at the joints.
Well said.
Like Indiana did. Plain and simple. Sorry, BYU guys, but I think SMU is tougher team on Notre Dame's schedule than BYU. No, BYU is going to be very good the next year. They're going to be the difference is they're going to be much more experienced. Will they be able to develop Bear Bachmeier this spring and summer into a guy who can handle elite defenses? Because he has shown repeatedly he struggles against elite defenses. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. We'll see.
You know, Illinois beat the ACC champ Duke. Well,
oh, man. Wow. That makes them such a great team, dude.
I think Alpha Buckeye's being a red ass about this. Notre Dame is contractually guaranteed to be in the CFP with a 12 ranking. With that schedule, their brand, TV ratings, it's possible they could be 12 even with 3 losses. Nobody wants to go to a game if you have 3 losses.
Yeah.
You know, I just think we're in this place that Notre Dame is in a very strange place. And it's because Marcus Freeman is unproven and inexperienced. And I just think when we get to next November 1st, you better not have lost a game. And I hope that that's the expectation. I really do. Because, again, with all due respect, what is Notre Dame? 6-2, I think, historically against BYU? Come on. Like, what are we talking about?
Yep.
With all due respect.
You know, like, when's the last? I don't even know the last time. When did Notre Dame play in Provo? 2010? Something like that? 2010, 2011? Right? I guess I could ask ChatGPT. When is the last time Notre Dame played? 2012, excuse me. And they played last time, 2022. So, you know, BYU won in 2004. And most of these games have not been competitive. If we're being honest, most of these games have not been competitive. Listen, I love BYU. I think you guys know I respect Kalani. If BYU beats Notre Dame, that tells you all you need to know about Marcus Freeman. Because you are probably at least twice as deep as Notre Dame. You know. Big Daddy Magic says Steve Young is now my profile picture. Okay. You're not a BYU football fan. Stop. The last time Notre Dame was in Provo was 2012. You know, it's a put up or shut up season. That's right. Yes, Notre Dame will go 9-3. K. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Notre Dame is coming like a Game of Thrones winter. You don't want to be the last game when they need to make a statement before the conference championship games.
Agreed.
That's going to be very difficult. 2004, I believe, was in Provo. Yeah. Timothy, that was 13 years ago. You can't live in the past. All we do in sports is live in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think we're not in the college football playoff? Because we live in the past. It really is as simple as that. You know. But listen, I'm fine with it. I think Notre Dame, this is the bed you make as an independent. I think D-Rock said that earlier. As an independent, you have to have 2 marquee games on your schedule every single year. And again, if I look at Notre Dame,
you got to win those 2 games, though.
Dame football schedule. If you look at Notre Dame's future schedules, okay, let's look at 2027. The games we know: Purdue, Michigan State, Auburn, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Virginia, Clemson, Navy, BYU. That's more than 2 games. 2028, Texas, Arkansas, Purdue, Auburn, Virginia, Clemson, Navy, Boston College, Miami, and Pitt. Oh, man, Monty, they got to join a conference. 2029.
Monty,
they can't schedule. Alabama at the stadium. USF, Texas, North Carolina State, Georgia Tech, Florida State, Syracuse, Wake, Navy, Clemson. Monty, that's 2029.
Yeah.
All those games are contracted. How about 2030? Indiana, Alabama, Louisville, Boston College, Navy, Clemson, Duke, Florida State.
Duke is Duke.
Duke is Duke. Duke is Duke. You guys, what are we even talking about?
That people hate Notre Dame and don't want them to win?
What are we even talking about? Alpha Buckeye. Notre Dame should just join the dang Big Ten.
Here we go. Oh, yeah, Monty, they should join the Big Ten. Monty, they can play historic rivals like SC and Michigan and get back to the Big Ten title game where they belong.
Nobody wants a title game. Playing in the Big Ten conference in a Big Ten title game is bad for business. Right? Hey, BDM, when my Broncos and Bo Nix beat Josh Allen's ass this weekend, you're going to be okay? Wow. See, Giggity, I've missed you. When my Broncos and Bo Nix beat Josh Allen's ass this weekend,
Stay hard.
Are you going to be okay?
Incredible.
You know, best team in Indiana is in Bloomington, not South Bend or West Lafayette. It's hard to argue that. Alpha Buckeye, why? Until Notre Dame is going to a super conference, there's no point in lessening the produced by joining the product by joining a conference. Why would you join a conference? Don't think that matters. Don't think that matters. There's no reason and there is no way, shape, or form that you are going to be able to push Notre Dame into a conference a second before it has to happen. Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
You never would do that. Because BYU is expanding Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Does that mean we have to adopt BYU James? You do. Provo James.
Oh, BYU Horny James. And the Seaman Demon is alive and well in Utah County.
Provo Edna. People say Notre Dame needs to join a conference, don't know ball. That's right. Who are you, UCF?
When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer.
Stop. Okay. No. No, it is not okay. God. Certain amongst us DMing me during the show being like, why are you talking like that? Okay.
Are you serious? People are criticizing the voice box now?
No, people are criticizing. No, never mind. I'm not giving you your 3 seconds of glory, jerk face. Anyway. Brandon Bowie 5467. Okay, Bowie. Playing Michigan, USC, Penn State, Oregon, Big Ten games gives them better scheduling options than the ACC. Right, but who wants to play those teams?
Dude, are you trolling or are you being serious right now? Like, is this a serious comment?
And Notre Dame not being in a conference didn't cost them a title shot this year. You can't lose the only 2 games you schedule. Because if CJ Carr of November was CJ Carr against Miami, we beat Miami probably by 2 scores. Oh, wait, that's right. He was inexperienced and not prepared. Okay, that game was on the road. Miami's in the national championship game. Not a bad loss. How do you explain Texas A&M, who got absolutely exposed late in the season? How do you explain that loss? Oh, because we don't tackle and we can't cover in zone. Notre Dame. We and I've had this discussion. Notre Dame doesn't have a schedule problem. Notre Dame is scheduling out of their mind. Texas, Bama, SMU, BYU. Michigan does not want to play Notre Dame. Michigan has had multiple opportunities to renew that series and has chosen not to.
He has our full respect.
USC, I think Lincoln Riley is much of a jackwagon as he was about the announcement. He's exactly right. Do you want to play Notre Dame in November?
We're in a control position.
I don't. If you're BYU, you want to play Notre Dame in November? You don't. You want to lose to Notre Dame in September, not November. Do you know how crippling it will be for Miami if they lose to Notre Dame November 7th? Because this year that game's at the stadium and CJ Carr, if he's healthy, has no excuse not to ball out.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Secondary should be exponentially better. Notre Dame.
Are they going to hit people or are they just going to watch?
Shut up, Jake. Notre Dame Notre Dame has no need to join the Big Ten.
Bro, you're sounding a lot like Bavacqua with some of these statements, dude. Best secondary ever, going undefeated, national championship. I mean, there's some Bavacqua-isms in this talk today.
There is under any circumstance, no value for Notre Dame in the current climate to join the Big Ten. You're adding massive brands to your schedule for the next 5 years. There's no value to play. Why do you want to play Ohio State every other year? I don't.
Got me, dude.
Why would you want to play USC? Do you know USC is going to be very good the next 2 years? Well, they should be, sort of projected talent. Lincoln.
Oh, man, Lincoln's actually going to figure it out on defense.
The dynasty is not over.
When you're adding Auburn, Alabama, and Texas to your schedule the next 3 years, why would you want to join the Big Ten? When you've added BYU the next 2 years, why do you want to join the Big Ten? There's no value in it. You're making more money as an independent than you would in the Big Ten. You're scheduling better than you would be able to in a fixed grid schedule in the Big Ten. There's no value. You have your own TV deal where you are stacking money to the point where you don't give a flying fuck about your basketball program.
No.
Why do you want to join the Big Ten?
Hockey's got better sweaters than basketball does, dude.
Are you... Monty is also mystified over here like Bavacqua.
Bavacqua.
God, I hate you someday.
Wow, guys, we're going to go on the greatest 13-game run we've ever seen. Undefeated.
Our lacrosse team's going undefeated.
Yeah.
Bavacqua.
For BYU, you want Notre Dame in November because if you win in November, it makes you look like a giant slayer. And if you lose, because
Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck.
if we're being honest, if we are being honest about Notre Dame, let's be honest about BYU football next year. Okay? If we're
Don't lie to me.
2026 BYU football schedule.
Without Jay Hill.
Notre Dame. Here are their big games. Notre Dame. Don't forget the rivalry, the Holy War, I think, is back at Rice Eccles. And that's it. So not only do you want to play, you want to play Notre Dame, you need to play Notre Dame because the rest of your schedule is the mighty Utah Tech Trailblazers.
Sleeping Giant.
At Colorado State. Those are your first two slated games. But then your home games are Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, Iowa State, Cincinnati.
We keeping a buck right now. We ass.
Bro, you need Notre Dame on that wall, dude.
Here are your road games. The Colorado State game, Kansas, TCU, UCF, and then the Holy War. You need Notre Dame. You don't want Notre Dame. You need Notre Dame.
You don't want to talk about that at your Tupperware parties.
Right? And then 2027, you want to talk about a schedule that's got holes blown in it. Your two games in 2027 are Texas Tech and Utah.
Too bad.
And then you've got to go to Notre Dame. Other than that, it's West Virginia on the road. It's West Virginia, Oak State, K-State, Houston. So Houston's a good one. At Arizona State, you need Notre Dame the next
Too
two.
fucking bad, man.
Bro, I sound overconfident? No, I'm not. I'm not. Are you?
Yeah, you're talking about a guy in old Monty over here who's like, yeah, we should win all 13 games or whatever, but I'm not confident we will. This is probably a 4-loss season under Marcus Freeman, the wrestling coach puncher. You know,
overconfident. Hall of Fame says, great comment, Jake. Better sweaters.
Yes, sweaters. They're not jerseys in hockey. They're sweaters.
Stay home. Joey Harper. Notre Dame don't have to share revenue being in Indy. Why give that up? You wouldn't. They schedule well and they have the big name recognition no matter what. I understand Big Ten fan is desperate for Notre Dame because the conference is ass. But Notre Dame's not joining the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Is it really a schedule for Notre Dame without North Texas on it? I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, listen, I don't North Texas, Central Texas. I mean, dude, with the 7th best team in Texas, how are they not on Notre Dame's schedule?
West Texas Institute of Technology, West Texas, North Texas, East Texas Butt Plug Manufacturing Association.
Iraq.
Like, hello?
Yeah.
What are we even talking about? Anyway, I appreciate, should Marcus Freeman, and this is the question, should Marcus Freeman go to the NFL right now? No, it's impossible.
More to prove at the college level.
He cannot go to the NFL. He cannot go to the NFL. Marcus wants to know, is Jake still using Zepbound?
I actually am getting back on it. We went to Paris.
No.
I'm not on it right now. I didn't want to travel it to Paris like you guys did. I wasn't interested in that and worrying about it.
You've been back from Paris for 3 weeks.
Okay, great. Cool. I ordered it yesterday.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zepbound's been amazing. Zepbound's great. It's the number one thing I get asked is, well, what about this? Are you constipated? You probably need to drink 120 ounces of water every day. How many ounces are in a gallon? I don't even know. Let's ask. Hey, Siri,
16?
How many ounces are in a gallon?
128 fluid ounces.
Jesus Christ.
Fluid ounces. Oh, yeah. Dude,
128 ounces of water.
Back is broken.
Bro. That's like 6 of these.
Yeah, I mean the Yeti canteen I think is like, I don't know, like 48 ounces, I think.
I don't drink out of my canteen at home. I'm much more I'm a blender bottle guy. So I use the metal. This is metal. It's a metal blender bottle. And that's what I drink of routinely.
Yeah.
So Marcus is considering doing Zepbound.
Oh, dude, there's
What
no
did he
question
say?
it works. There's no doubt that Zepbound works. I think, for me, I'm still trying to figure out what level is effective. So like on this
Marcus
reorder,
wants to know if he has to wear a puffy vest to use Zepbound.
no, you don't have to exist in the vestibule for Zepbound to work. But like on this one, I'm jumping up a level. I'm going to the second tier because the first tier didn't have the effectiveness that I wanted it to have.
So you're going to 5.0.
Yeah, I'm going 5.0, and we'll see what that looks like. I will say yes. You have to be really smart about not only what you eat, but the volume that you eat with. The key with Zepbound is that it makes it so you don't really want to eat a whole lot. That's kind of the magic of it. It kind of rewires your brain, and it kind of takes that hunger gene away. I found that when I was on Zepbound, I didn't really get hungry. I just started to feel like crap if I didn't eat. Like my energy would tank. I'd get a little headache, and then if I ate, that all goes away, and you feel like $1 million. So it's like you just have to. The water thing, everyone focuses on the water thing because they're scared of the constipation or the issues that way. But the water thing is really more than that, in my opinion. It's yes, you need the water to keep your track running well, but it's also, it helps you lose the weight, because if you're hydrated, you're going to pee more, which helps you cut weight. And that to me is the biggest thing. But yeah, I mean, if you're considering it, I don't know. Everyone's insurance setup is different. HSAs, FSAs, all that stuff. But
yeah.
But if you have a healthcare spending account through your job and you can pay for it, I mean, and that covers it, I wouldn't even think twice about it. I would absolutely do it. To me, it's worth the cost. And the other thing I say is if you don't pay for Zepbound, that money that you think you're saving is going to go to your food. So either way, you're incurring the cost. It's just about how you want to spend it.
Marcus said, Jake, how difficult is it for you? I'm significantly older than you. He's 43. He said, I'm 43. I only want to lose about 45 pounds, maybe 50 pounds. What's been the most difficult thing for you?
Yeah, the most difficult thing for me was getting the water intake dialed in. I mean, you have, again, this is so like since we switched to mornings, like my kind of routine changed. Like we joked about this yesterday, but like I previously on Zepbound, I was getting up at about 4:30 ish, 4:20 ish. Shower, get ready for the day. I had the option to eat when I got up, but I didn't really ever eat until like maybe 4 or 5 hours into my day. Now it's a little bit easier for me. So like I get up at 3:45. I know that seems outrageously early, but I get up at 3:45. I have the bucked up supplements worked into my regiment now. So I'm getting creatine and a bunch of other things. And then it's basically just water. I really try to knock one of these down before I eat during the day right now. I don't accomplish that every day. It's still a work in progress, but that's kind of my goal. Like get one of those down before I eat. And yeah, so I would say the hardest thing is just dialing in how to get comfortable with drinking that much water, because like for me, I don't drink soda. My drinks are literally just water, Monster, and then occasionally every once in a while, maybe I'll have a mixer in the house, like a orange juice or something, depending on the time of year and what all I'm feeling. So it's just, I think it can be harder if you're someone who drinks a lot of soda or like 100%. If you're big on candy, like if it depends what you have in your household. Like I don't have, and again, it's not a holier than thou thing. I just don't have like a lot of candy in my house, or like I don't have a lot of that type of stuff in the cabinet. I'm much more the guy that that like I really enjoy really quality meals when I do eat. So like I have a lot of chicken in my house, a lot of turkey, like I have good meals that I prep on Sundays. So I have kind of a different thing with food right now, regardless of if I'm on Zepbound or not. So to answer the question, long story short, is it difficult? No, it's not difficult, but you have to be mindful of the water. I would say mindful of how much sleep you get. And then if you could just walk, like if you have a dog or you have a way to walk, like just walk like 2 or 3 times a day and you'll lose the weight. It really, it really is not. That's the magic of Zepbound.
I think the hardest part for me is just when do you step up? Like I'm on 7.5. I want to step up to 10 milligrams now. Like, because you get to a point where you get food noise, right? Like you get to a point where you'll plateau a little bit. And the single hardest thing for me is drinking enough water. I'm somebody that likes to drink between 60 and 80 ounces of water a day. I need to get that to, 100, 120 ounces a day.
Yeah.
And that will make a big difference. That's why I try to drink 20 ounces as soon as I wake up. Right. So that's the most difficult thing. And age matters, I think.
Absolutely.
I think if you're younger, you have to be more active. I think that's been a huge thing for me. Walking 5,000 steps a day is a line of demarcation for me. I need to walk 5,000 steps a day.
Well, and my thought too for us is like, now that golf season's kind of coming back around, like it like just if you're a golfer, even like I have a course that I play here in Eugene that is not like a super nice course or anything. I would say it definitely trends toward like just your average Joe municipal course. But the nice thing is it's a full 18-holer, but the front 9 is really easy to walk. It's a little hilly, but it's not going to kill you. And so I had a lot of success on the lowest level of Zepbound when I was taking it, and I was, trying to walk the dog, and then I get one walking round per weekend, and then one golf cart full 18 round in per week, because you're still walking a lot if you have a cart, but there's a difference between that and walking between each shot. So I just think it's not, people want to make the issues out to be bigger than they are, in my opinion. I think if you just drink enough water and you don't eat like an idiot, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be fine. Like
there's no point to using Zepbound or Manjaro, which is Zepbound. It's the same thing. There's no point to doing it if you're going to continue to eat like an idiot. And you won't be able to do that. You will. I've had 2 instances where I've eaten way too much and you just feel terrible. You just feel, because your system is slow. You don't digest food at the same rate. So what you have to do is drink a lot of water to keep that digestion moving. And I'm telling you, in our society, sugar is far more of a culprit than fat. Yeah. Cut your sugar out. Like, don't eat added sugar, and you have to do everything you can do to limit the manufactured food, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things I believe that are probably wrong. I think added sugar's terrible. I think artificial sweeteners, terrible. I think sugar and grease, terrible. Those are things I don't eat, right? Like my wife makes mashed potatoes, and they literally are Instapot mashed potatoes or Instapot peeled potatoes. And I put a little bit of salt and a little bit of oat butter in it. I don't use sour cream. I don't use a bunch of oil or grease. I am just telling you, if you are going to get on Zepbound, you better be prepared to change the way you eat, and you better be prepared to be more active than you are, because you're going to have more energy. I cannot tell you, my biggest gain has been energy, just the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want. I sleep far better. I think it's awesome. Sugar is far more addictive than cocaine. Is more addictive than cocaine. And do the drop. Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Do the drop. So you think you could come in here for the first time all morning at 7:06 and start calling for drops, dude?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I mean, who do you think you are, bro?
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
I mean, come on.
Man, when water's good, it's so good.
Yeah, so like water is kind. I'm kind of weird about water. I don't do room temp water. It's weird to me. I can't stand it. I need cold water. And when I have that, dude, I'll knock down 80, 90. Like you were saying, your 60 to 80 is kind of your comfort zone. I find that most days I can get to like 85. And at 85, it's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, damn, dude, I got to get one more in, and I just have no desire to drink more water, bro. Like,
it's tough. It is really tough. You know, the other thing, I need to get back to not eating dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I need to bump up. Like, I'm eating dinner out of a habit now. I need to stop doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like last night, again, I had mashed potatoes and I cut up some chives and put them in there. And the other night I had mashed potatoes and a bag of vegetables. So at least when I'm eating out of habit, I'm still eating raw whole food. Yeah. I'm not eating candy bars, or this weekend I had a cookie. Wish I hadn't done that. Right? Like, those are the things that you can't do. And if you're going to do that, you have to, like, I didn't eat real lockdown in London or in Paris. Like, I had crepes every day pretty much in Paris.
You just didn't eat a lot in general in Paris. And when you did, it was typically a crepe or something small, which, and that's the other thing I think that's very like person to person with this stuff, with like Zepbound Manjaro, is like, I think, and this is what I'm curious about, stepping up one level, how it'll impact, because I still had food noise on the first level. I still had a desire to eat, which is why I want to step up. And it's just interesting, like, how your life is kind of impacted, especially like if you have a big social circle and you're that person that's like out every Friday night or every Saturday night with your friends and stuff. Like, it could absolutely, it will impact that. If you're on a, if you're on any level of it, it will impact your desire for that. Cause you're not, dude, if you're on Zepbound as like, you're not going to be drinking a ton of beer. Like, if you're a beer person, you're not going to be doing that stuff, because your system won't tolerate it at all.
Yeah, I think it is. Alcohol and Zepbound are known not to mix, but it's interesting. My wife has lost significant weight as well, and she's never bumped up from the 2.5, the starter dose of Zepbound.
Yeah. So like for her, that's worked great. And that's why it's person to person. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if I can get 5,000 steps a day, and I am happy to be back playing golf now. Like, I missed playing golf. Like, it's tough. Now that I went to the Center Bay Golf Center here in Seattle, it's incredible. It is. I am so looking forward to it. One of the reasons I want to come back Saturday is because I want to play golf on Sunday.
Yeah.
I want to go hit range balls. We have this cool, this place has a 9-hole putting course.
It's cash, dude.
To work on your putting.
Are you still, you think you're going back to your Scotty, or you're going to roll with the Odyssey?
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. I really putted well with the Odyssey.
Yeah.
So it is, I am hoping I generally can roll out of bed and putt well.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned how to read greens, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Phil Venzer, I went from diet soda to zero Powerade. I got to cut the artificial sweeteners. You really do. You really do. I eat once a day now. Any flavored water. I don't drink flavored water. I try to stay away from artificial color as well. So I really try to stay away from the Gatorades and the Powerades and all that stuff. I know I overthink everything. When I am at my best, I generally do not eat till about 10 o'clock, when I'll have a protein bar. And then I will have lunch around 12. And then I will have like grapes for dinner. And that usually fills me up. I am not hungry. I'm not thinking about food.
See, and what's interesting about that is, if you said that to the average person, they'd be like, dude, like, what are you doing? But like when you're on Zepbound, it's just different. Like, you just don't have the desire.
Yeah, I don't think about it. I really don't. I will do room temp water, but my room temp at this time of year is about 63 degrees. I am not somebody that wants ice in my water right now. In the summer, give me ice in the water. Right now, dude, I hate the water thing, you guys. I hate the stupid pitcher in the refrigerator. I cannot stand the pitcher in the refrigerator. Then we're going to get to the Big 12, I promise. I cannot stand the pitcher of water in the refrigerator. And I have like a pour spout on I have a longer pitcher that's got a pour spout. I hate the whole concept. I am so spoiled from having a water spigot on my refrigerator. And now I don't have that and I hate it. I really do. Day-old donuts. I hate choking down these protein shakes. Give me Jack in the Box Ultimate Cheeseburger now,
That's
please.
what I'm saying, dude. Knock it down, bro.
But that's how you got to where you're at.
Yeah.
Right? That's how you got to where you're at. 70 degrees today in Vegas. That's golf weather. Yes, it is. At Vegas National. That's one of my favorite courses in the country.
Yes.
All right. The Monty Show, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Let's come back and ask you, is the Big 12 conference on the verge of extinction? We'll answer that question next.
You're not just a case. You're not just a client. You're a person, and you deserve support. You deserve simplicity. You deserve communication. When you hire an attorney, you deserve clear, risk-free advice that guides you to the best possible outcome in your injury case. And that's exactly what the advocates have been providing for over 30 years. After your accident, you deserve closure. You deserve compassion. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve an advocate.
Indeed, you do deserve an advocate at theadvocates.com, 24/7, 365. That's when you can get the advocates. Whenever you need them, wherever you need them, they're there. A video call, a phone call, in your hospital room, the advocates are ready to serve you. You can talk to an injury attorney 24/7. Not a chatbot, not AI. On their website, you can chat with an injury attorney 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I cannot say enough about the level of compassion, empathy, understanding, because the advocates have seen your situation over and over and over again because they have so much experience. They've seen the car accidents. They've seen the big rig accidents. They've seen the workplace injuries, the dog bites, the slips and falls. Like, they've seen all of that. When you're riding your bike and you get hit by a car, they've seen that. They know how to fight for you. They know how to fight the insurance companies. They fought those fights. They've won those fights. Get clear, risk-free advice right now at theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Is the Big 12 conference on the verge of extinction? This is a huge moment in time for college football because we've been talking about the Big 10 wanting 24 teams in a college football playoff because they know in the Big 10 that they are struggling for depth. They have a clear understanding that they have become a 2 and in some years 3 bid league. And they are trying to stack the deck to get themselves 4 or 5 teams in to the college football playoff because I think we all know that's where the money is. And that's why sources are telling us that the Big 10 is pushing hard for 24 teams. Even in a 24-team scenario, should we believe that the Big 12 as a conference will do what it is required to do to get multiple teams? Let's say in a 24-team playoff, you should definitely have 2 teams in, I would assume. Should we believe, Jake, that the Big 12 in a 24-team bracket would have 3, 4, 5 teams in the playoff?
Well, I mean, if there's no auto bidding, happening, if we're just simply expanding what we have now to 24 teams, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, BYU would have been in this year if we had 24 teams, right? You'd have had Tech and BYU.
I agree.
But I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to expand to 24 teams if you're not going to have an auto bid contingent as part of this. Like, part of the thing for the Big 12 right now is obviously they're not putting a lot of teams into the CFP and they're really struggling financially. And I maintain that they're going to take a massive step back this year. You're not going to have Utah. You're not going to have Iowa State. You're not going to have TCU.
And you are convinced that Morgan Scalley ain't that dude.
Convinced. Yeah, convinced. I'll be happy to say I was wrong if I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be. But for a different day. I just think that the Big 12 is a conference that is, and no one's saying it publicly, but they're desperate for an auto bid setup, I think. I mean, I don't want that to be the case in college football, but if you're
say that, why do you say that the Big 12
because they can't crack the code without it. They can't get four teams in or 3 teams in a 24 team setup. without auto bids, right? So if the Big Ten's pushing for a 24-team setup where they get 4 teams, the SEC gets 4 teams on auto bids, they get 4, SEC gets 4. Does that mean that the Big 12 gets 2 and the ACC gets 2?
That's what I would think.
And then you've got and then you've got another 12 at large. Like, is that what we're looking at? Well, I would think the Big 12 would be very in favor of that, But again, this is why I say, like, the SEC and the Big 12, I think, will continue to work together to try to drive the results they're looking for in the bigger picture with the format. Because Brett Yormark knows that if he can stay in the good graces of the SEC, that's only going to help his conference. And so I do think that the Big 12 specifically is the only conference right now that's not capable of putting together a national championship contender. Like, is better for worse, the ACC has shown the ability to do that. I'm not saying that top to bottom they're a better league, but they are showing more attendance in the CFP. That's just a fact. We've seen it with more regularity out of that conference. So that's the Big 12's core issue. Is all these other conferences, sure, is the Big 10 top heavy? Is the ACC one team every year? Sure. But those teams are getting further in the CFP and making more money. And the Big 12 is typically a one and done team.
How many, in the comments section, let's get a conversation rolling about how many teams do you think should be in a college football playoff? My belief is it's 16. I think first of all, it's never going to be enough until we have whatever you want to call it, a super league or a playoff structure. A 16 should be the max. We are looking at a situation where if you need auto bids to put your teams in the college football playoff, you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it wrong. And I understand that we want this utopic society where conference championship games matter. They don't matter. And people shouldn't be playing in those games because they're being penalized for it. I don't know how else the history of the selection committee has shown you those playoff games, win or lose, matter. And you look at what happened to BYU this year, there's no better example of that, right? But yet here we are, the most controversial team apparently is Notre Dame, who's not in a conference and didn't play in a conference championship game. Yet most people would tell you Notre Dame should have been in before BYU, which I think is a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah.
And we need to stop with this idea that bowls have to matter. They don't matter. We need to stop with this idea that conference championship games, if you're going to play a conference championship game, it should not impact the college football playoff. It's as simple as that, because it is unfair to put non-participants in conference championship games at a higher spot than a team that played for a conference championship. It just doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, 16 teams is where this thing is at. Mm-hmm. And if you're the 17th and 18th team, I don't want to hear from you. Because if you're on the outside looking in at 17, come on. Like, are we really crying poor when you're 17th? But it's going to happen. You need to understand that it's going to happen.
There's always going to be someone that complains, no doubt.
And my opinion is there should be multiple playing games. You should have Miami and Notre Dame should have played another football game to see who gets in.
Yeah.
Should have happened. It would have been great theater, great TV. Yeah. It would have made good money, and it would have drawn big numbers on TV. Should have had to have played that game. Right? You should have. As simple as that. If we're going to put the conference champions in, you should absolutely have multiple playing games. I think 2 playing games on a campus. On a campus. The higher ranked team should have the home field advantage.
Yeah, it should be in a 16-team format. I think you're probably looking at, in terms of guarantees, like auto bids, I think you're looking at 2 for each of the power conferences, right? So at that point, you're getting 8 automatic bids in. And then from there, I think, there should be playing games to decide those last probably 3 to 4 spots. If you think about it, so if you've got 8 auto bids, that means you've got 8 more slots in a 16-team format. So from 9th through 12th, I would say, or even if you want to do from 9th to 14, okay, those are at large bids that the committee is going to determine, right? That's just what we do now. And then that 15th and 16th slot should be 4 teams competing in two playing games on, like you just said, on the higher seeded state at the higher seeded team stadium. That's how it should be done. And again, I think that provides you, if you schedule it correctly, that provides you with a level bye week where you can say, okay, cool, we have 1 calendar week. That's a bye week. We don't have 3 calendar weeks that we're calling 1 bye week. So then you legitimately have 1 proper bye week, which I think is good. I think that's an incentive. And I think the issue with the bye week now is it turns into like 3 weeks off since you've actually played a game.
Correct.
And so that to me is what has to be eliminated. And then I think as far as the bowl game situation is concerned, I think that the bowl games financially are really good for the ecosystem. Like they help sponsors, they help TV partners. They're meaningless right now as far as like, outcomes and meaningful football, but they do matter financially.
And you sell more Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, you throat slam more Pop-Tarts and tax forms and, whatever your brand is. But the point is, I think that you could easily work some of these bowl games, these meaningless bowl games, into CFP games. You could call, the 16-15 game, the Relia Quest Bowl or whatever. Like you could easily work those in and make that work.
See, for me, I just think we need to stop trying to play nice. Those playoff games make money. Those play-in games make money. That to me is what makes the most sense. It's Bears and Rams this weekend. If you don't want to play in cold weather, don't leave yourself into a play-in game. Mm-hmm. If you want to play at home, don't leave yourself into a play-in game.
No, but all I'm saying is I'm not saying neutral site the bowl game. I'm saying play it wherever it's supposed to be played. Like whoever has the home field, play it there. And then just allow, whatever sponsor, the Pop-Tart Bowl, to be the sponsor of that game. That way you appease the sponsors you already have. You've got the home field advantage. You've got, you've got a proper schedule. And then I agree with what you said yesterday. The transfer portal, what no one talks about with the transfer portal date is the distraction it causes. Not just that it's ill-timed in terms of like kids moving and CFP and all, but like the distraction it causes everybody in the process. Like the Lane Kiffin thing, not that that's a transfer portal thing, but stuff like Lane Kiffin switching jobs, the transfer portal implications, all of that
back and forth.
Yeah, like all of that should be pushed after the season. They should do it the way the NBA does it, right? Hey, we're in the NBA finals. We're not doing trades. We're not doing coaching movement. We're not doing free agency. We've got windows for that stuff. It's going to go down at this time of the year, every single year when we're probably in the off season. So which I say, hey, there's a clear off season here. Everybody except 2 teams right now is in the off season. Okay, great. Let's, after Saturday or Monday, I guess it'd be, open the portal. That's how it should be done. It's not that hard to understand, dude.
Yeah, I think when you're asking people like Tosh Lapoy or Will Stein or Charlie Weiss Jr. or whoever to go in and recruit for another school while trying to prepare another school to win a championship is ridiculous. And anyway, here nor there. PSG Gabriel, who's been a member of the Monty Show for 14 months. Gabriel, go Chelsea. Appreciate you. The problem with the Big 12 is the ADs. They have been lazy overall. Look at UCF. Why do we still got Scott Frost? Why are certain coaches not fired yet?
Because they are too comfortable.
The bar is very low.
Yep.
Red wine. Big needs to add Notre Dame, Miami, and Houston. What is the hard on for adding? Why? Why? 20 teams. SEC get 20 teams, then 40 team NFL light. Yeah. Why? 14 to 16 and run it like the NFL. TJ Beck, 16 is the sweet spot. G5 should do their own thing with a couple of million kicked to help them from the Big Four conferences. I'm worried the Big 12 will become the first round fodder for the Big Four. I would agree with that. 100%. 16's the way to go. We really need to see a Super League become reality. I would agree. Rock and Rant, I don't really care if it's 16 or 24. FC has 24, D2 has 32, D3 has 40, still lowest percentage of almost any sport at 24 making the playoff. No AQs or same amount for all P4s is all I want. I think that makes sense. especially for a guy like you who's an ACC guy. That makes sense. Start with 18 teams, 15 through 18 playing games, 15 versus 18, 16 versus 17. Final 16, everyone plays, take away the layoff time, and use the NFL model. I want playing games. I want Notre Dame and Miami to have to play for that spot. I think that's hugely important, right? And you probably would have played that game at Miami because they had beat Notre Dame early in the season.
They have the tiebreaker. Yep. Hard Rock.
I'm fine with that.
Yep.
That's what needs to happen. On the field needs to determine the final spot so there's no controversy.
Yep.
Like that, wish you were me. I think it should stay at 12, but if it goes up, then should be 24. If it goes to 16, several years later, it'll be 24. So just do it now. Could do that. I am very curious what the temperature is right now in the Big 12 HQ. Well, I think, Brett Yormark, like this patch thing that came out yesterday, we are moving very close to having a revenue-generating sponsor patch on jerseys. Who came up with that idea? Brett Yormark. We broke that story on the show. Brett Yormark's been pushing that. Brett Yormark is an innovator. Brett Yormark is making people money. He has business models, and he has a bunch of presidents and athletic directors who won't execute.
Yeah.
Dave Aranda, the wolf of the Big 12, still at Baylor.
Somehow, some way.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Because you didn't want to compete for coaches, which is ridiculous. Joey, this year Miami should have played Notre Dame and BYU should have played Alabama. Would have loved it. That would have been absolute cash.
Yes.
Are you still heavily favoring Indiana in that game, Jake?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be close. I think they've got that by 2 to 3 possessions.
I think they've got it by 87 points, Monty.
Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see, 38-21, 38-27. Like they've got it by multiple possessions.
The number keeps going up. Obviously, It's the boys in Vegas, but it's 8.5 now.
Yeah.
It's 8.5 in favor of Indiana. If Carson Beck was not the quarterback, I think this would be a much better game. I don't think Carson Beck's a fireman.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to handle that heat up front.
I think that Indiana is going to show you how to slow down Bane. I think that Indiana is going to show you what it looks like to handle the pressure of the Miami defense and make them pay for their over pursuit, which seemingly nobody has been committed to doing. Because again, it's not to take anything away from that defense. That defense is awesome. Like they are a bunch of badasses. They get after it. Like it's a great defense, but
Miami's just so injured right now too.
Yeah, but I just think that the over pursuit is something that I think hasn't been taken advantage of. And I think that it's everything from again, I was texting you while the Ole Miss Miami game was going on. And I was like, dude, just dump it off to the back in the flat. Like they are blitzing the hell out of you. They're coming after you constantly. Make them pay for that. You're back and 2 wide receivers against their DBs. Who's going to win that matchup? That's what it needs to be.
I would agree. Miami is remarkably undisciplined in some critical moments. And you can't have 10 penalties in this game and even be competitive.
Yeah. For Miami to win the game, they can't turn it over a single time. And they need to be leading at the half. If you are losing at the half, the game is over. Because Indiana has shown a tenacity in the second half to put teams away. Well, they could have easily let off, but they didn't. Because
it allows Fernando Mendoza to make those easy throws. If you're going to allow, to your point about leading at the half, if you're down 17 points, Fernando Mendoza is just going to throw those out routes because you can't cover them.
Yeah.
Right? They're easy throws that you can't cover.
It's pitch and catch, dude. It's easy.
That's where he kills you. What Penn State did is Penn State played tough physical defense, and they were not over-aggressive rushing the passer. Their defensive ends and their tackles were very connected, which Miami was not against Ole Miss. That's why that was a game. Because I thought Miami was significantly better. I just thought Ole Miss was not prepared to play that game. I think Miami was well prepared for that game. It was only close because Miami was so damn undisciplined.
Yeah.
And the targeting, the unnecessary roughness hit, just the plays at the sideline. If you do that against Indiana, Mendoza will kill you because the throws to the sideline are not difficult for him. You have to force him to read your defense. You have to force him to do that. And I think the thing that Miami can do, and we'll see how Bain plays, but I think the thing that Miami can do is Miami can get Mendoza off his spot.
Yeah.
And if they can get Mendoza off his spot, this is a different football game. This is a different football game. Because if you in particular, if Miami can stop Mendoza from getting outside, you need to force him to step up into the D line. You need Mendoza to be sliding, climbing almost the pocket. Because you are now, again, I think Indiana's offensive line has been incredible. But you've got to play Fernando Mendoza into the strength of your defense. And I think that is balls over the middle and pressure in his face and discipline on the outside. It's as simple as that. And if you learned anything from Ole Miss, if your defensive tackles are sitting on the ground not making an effort, you're going to lose the game.
Yep.
So we'll have a full preview of the game tomorrow. I tend to more be on your side. I
just struggle to see Miami breaking through against that defense. They're a good team. I really don't want this to come off like I'm saying Miami sucks, but I look at it and I say, dude, Indiana is a more well-coached team. I think they are playing better football just as a team overall. And, I just think that it's Indiana's year. They've had a great year. They're playing great football. They play a physical style of football. They want to inflict pain on you. Like it's fine. I think that Indiana's got this game by at least 14 points. I think 8 is giving a lot of respect to Miami. I think it's a 2 touchdown gap.
I think Mark Fletcher's going to have to run for 100 yards, and it's going to hurt. It's good. That Indiana defense wants you to run the ball.
Yes, they want it.
And I think it's just you're going to have to do that because I just don't believe Carson Beck can throw you to a win. I don't buy the guy.
But again, if you want to be in that position, you need to play from in front in this game. I can't emphasize that enough. The one advantage Indiana's had most of the year is they haven't really played from behind. They've been playing from in front, and that's a credit to them. But you want to shake the boat, like you got to play from in front.
They play close games. And if we look at just their biggest games of the year, the thing that worries you is, like, hell, even go back to the Notre Dame game. What did we lose that game by 3 points? But the numbers in that game are Miami 6 penalties for 51 yards.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. Notre Dame had 5 penalties for 15 yards. That's a huge difference.
Agreed.
But why did Miami ultimately win that game? They didn't turn it over, right? They did not turn it over.
Oh, and Notre Dame wasn't nearly physical enough.
Yeah, right. But then, okay, so look at their other big wins. Or even look at because I think the loss to SMU for Miami was very telling. Right. And again, 12 penalties, 96 yards, 2 interceptions, crippling, 7 of 16 on third down. You possessed the ball 37 minutes and still lost the game. That's the one that's just like, oh, because you got beat for 365 passing yards. You can't explain that. And it's because you're undisciplined.
Yes.
You're undisciplined. And I keep going back to it in the games of note. Like I even go to that Ohio State game in the playoff where you won. And you look at the fact that, again, they were what worked for Miami in that game? 0 penalties. 0 penalties. 33 minutes of possession. 2 interceptions thrown by Sand.
Yeah.
So you won the turnover battle, you didn't commit penalties, and you possessed the football. It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. But you know what? What worries you is you had less than 300 yards against a pretty elite defense, and you needed turnovers to win that game. Indiana does not beat itself. They don't.
Couldn't agree more, man.
So, TJ Beck, will Mario pull a Mario coaching-wise during this game? I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, he has been a better coach this year. Ooh, look at that. John Harbaugh to interview with the Giants today. How about that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's taking that job. I would be shocked if he went somewhere else. I think he's taking the Giant job.
Why do I dislike John Harbaugh so much? Adam Schefter, Ravens head coach, former Raven head coach John Harbaugh meeting with the Giants today. And what is his first in-person interview to another team's training facility? Harbaugh is already in their building. So you think John Harbaugh is taking the Giant job?
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for where he's at as a head coach, it fits for him. I think the Giant brand, the panache of that organization, meshes well with who John is as a coach and a guy. And John definitely portrays the not old head coach, but like very seasoned, very capable, has, again, Super Bowl winner, proven track record, hasn't won recently, obviously, but has shown you he has it within him. So, if they hire John Harbaugh, no one's going to blink. No one's going to blink. No one's going to question that. I think that
probably the higher of the cycle if they do it.
Yeah,
right?
Probably. Yeah. I think that people will only ask questions if you go off the reservation and hire Mike McDaniel or Vance Joseph or somebody like that who's just clearly not the best coach in the cycle.
Dude, and again, I said this earlier and I feel stupid saying it again. Mike McDaniel is the leading candidate in Cleveland.
Another 5 years of mediocrity, dude.
How when Mike McCarthy is available, if you're the Cleveland Browns and you hire Mike McDaniel over Mike McCarthy, it tells me you do not want a respected guy who has a system in place.
Yeah.
And that to me is
insane. Crazy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I'm hiring a quarterback guru, and then he better have a offensive coordinator who's a guru too.
Yes.
It just, you look at the jobs open, and we talked about this earlier. I'm not trying to be redundant, but I think the best job open is the Baltimore Raven job.
Yeah.
I think it's Baltimore 1. I think it's New York 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then just about everybody else. Is Miami a good job?
Not with that ownership. No.
Yeah, I mean,
I would take the Steeler job before the Miami job.
And the Steelers have so many issues. No running back, no quarterback, no.
But again, what's unique about the Steeler job is you're probably going to be there for a while. There's reliability in it. You know that they're not breathing down your neck. You have time to work through some of those roster issues. So yes, they have those issues. But again, for the right guy, that you will be there, if you play your cards right, 10 plus years. I mean, that's what their track record tells us.
I'm really curious. I am really curious to see, do the Steelers go with a Chris Shula, Jesse Minter?
I don't think you can do that, man. I think the Steelers to me, if they're going to shake it up, it's not going to be for a young guy. It'll be for they will go from defensive minded head coach to offensive minded head coach, i.e. Mike McCarthy. They will I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if the Jesse Minters of the world were serious contenders for that job. I would be, I would be, veteran head coach, guy who, because again, Dayball's still out there, right? Am I remembering that right? Dayball's still out there.
I mean, you have 9. I think it's 9 open jobs in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
9.
Yeah,
Now,
there's
they're
a
not
lot
all
of
great jobs. I mean, like Arizona, not a great job.
But that's
right?
the job. I agree with what you said earlier. Like Arizona, Las Vegas, like you've got jobs out there that are better fits for the lower end, less experienced coach. Those are the jobs they should be going after.
I think my opinion is if the Seahawks win the NFC, Clint Kubiak had better be one of the first guys hired. I mean, he is the next McVay, Shanahan.
Yeah.
Like he's the next dude. Like you look at what he did for guys like Geno, now a guy like Darnold. Like you look at those guys, and then you look at the way Gannon handled that job in Arizona. I just don't know if I am the Arizona Cardinals, I am probably much more looking at an ass kicker. I don't know can you hire Vance Joseph? Can you hire Bob Saleh? Can you hire Matt Nagy, the experienced guys? I mean, Kyler Murray's a disaster for whoever takes that job.
Yes.
I don't know what and again, it's why I think Atlanta needs an experienced guy, because what are you going to do with Michael Penix? It's why when you look at Cleveland, I feel like most of these jobs, Mike McCarthy's the right guy in Cleveland. He's the right guy, right? In my opinion, when I look at some of these other openings, Kevin Stefanski's the right guy in Baltimore, right? You got to hire guys to facilitate your success.
But again, if you're Baltimore, you're definitely competing for Stefanski with Pittsburgh. Like Stefanski's another guy that if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm looking at, because again, he trends more offensive. And for me, I think that Mike McCarthy and Kevin Stefanski are two guys that are not contenders for the Giant job, but are absolutely contenders for the Ravens, Steelers. I'm sure they'll get looks out west, but I don't think they'll consider those two jobs at all. I don't think they want anything to do with those. So again, it's just a thing where, like, if you're the Giants, you should be trying to close John today. Close his ass today.
Yeah, he
right?
can't leave without signing a contract.
Yeah. Like I understand. I don't know where the Giants are at in their process with fulfilling league requirements and everything, but just get it done, dude. Like get an agreement in place, before he leaves. That's got to happen.
Yeah, and if you're the Giants, and you don't, and John doesn't want to sign a contract today, he's probably not the right guy. He's probably not the right guy. Like I just don't. I would not let him leave.
No,
I just would not let him leave. And if he does, he's not your guy, in my opinion. The Raiders need to fully accept they are in rebuild. Yes, they do. And get a young stud to maximize that number 1 pick, Mendoza and Ginty. I would trade Max Crosby to the Bears.
Yeah.
They want him. He wants him. You need to do it.
Do it.
Clint Kubiak, Colorado State. What a great player. I'm sure he was. Depends on if the Steelers are finally going to do a rebuild like the Bears had to. Yeah. Man, that Trubisky trade was so bad. When Poles came in, they needed a couple of really bad seasons. I don't.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So if you hire a veteran head coach and he's on the same page with you, that like we're going to struggle, we're going to rebuild, right? But we want you in the driver's seat for that rebuild, so that when we do it on the other side, we can come out and compete for a couple of Super Bowls in a 7-year window. That's the idea. So if you spend. That's what I'm telling you. The Steelers, I like that the Steelers hold on to their coaches and are tolerant. I think that that's a better formula in the NFL versus just rotating guy in and out.
18 years?
18 years with Tomlin was too long.
They haven't been relevant, man.
I'm aware.
Yeah, I agree. They haven't.
They held on to him too long. But if you look at, like, just if we use Mike McCarthy as an example, whoever the next guy is, but Mike as an example, if you bring Mike McCarthy in, you're gonna say to him, "Hey, man, we really want you to be the head coach, but we really need you to see the vision here." So We
I
need
think
three
it's,
seasons. It's 3 seasons of bad football, right? To get up in the draft, get a new quarterback talent, do what we need to do that way. And then after we get through that, we're looking at 7 seasons of playoff football, trying to win a Super Bowl every single year. 10 years. That's what they do. So that's why I think the next guy that goes there needs to be comfortable with that plan.
Yeah. I think, I don't think there's any doubt the Ravens are the best. Yeah, I mean, you have a quarterback, you have money, you have an owner.
Yep.
I think Pittsburgh's completely a tear down and rebuild. Cleveland perpetually. Miami. What do you say about Arizona, Las Vegas?
There's one question in Miami. How long are we holding on to Tua? That's a singular question.
That ship has sailed. I think that ship has sailed.
Yep.
I do. And I think Chris Shula is probably the right guy, the defensive coordinator of the Rams. I mean, he's Don Shula's grandson. How do you go wrong?
Right.
But, I think the Ravens are 1 and the Giants are 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, I think probably Cleveland is 3 at that point. I mean, Tennessee doesn't seem attractive to me at all. And I just think Pittsburgh is so broken right now. That's a huge job, dude.
I'm not putting Cleveland over Pittsburgh, dude. Pittsburgh's less broken than Cleveland. Cleveland from a management perspective,
I would agree with
is
that.
about
Pittsburgh
as worse
clearly
as
a better
possible.
job than Cleveland.
Yeah.
Clearly a better job.
Yeah.
I would. That's very.
I mean, I think Cleveland falls in line with the 2 out west, right? I mean, I think if you're a head coach and you're looking at these jobs, you're like, yeah, dude, like, all right, I'm not qualified enough to get the Giant job, the Raven job, or the Steeler job, but man, Cleveland's available. You've got, and I'd also contend too, by the way, in that division, Cincinnati is going to come available at some point here in the next season or 2.
Should have been available now.
It should have been available now.
Why has nobody hired a coach yet? That's the thing that, to me, I'm a little surprised that Cleveland hasn't tried to get their guy. If you're one of these shitty teams, you got to hire a guy right now.
Yeah.
You can't be if you're the last of the 9 teams to hire a coach, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Atlanta job is intriguing because that division is so meh. It wouldn't take much to get in the playoffs. Well, and Tampa didn't fire their coach.
Yeah.
So why are the Bengals the only team in that division that kept their coach?
Because I think the Bengals understand that Zach is a decent enough head coach, and you've got Joe Burrow and you've got talent outside. The defense is the worst in the league, man. And if it's not the worst, it's like one of the top, the worst 3 in the league on any given year.
But look at Brandon Butler agreeing with what I said earlier. If you hire Brian Flores in Las Vegas and then you put Mike McDaniel as your offensive coordinator, drafting a quarterback, like this is the legit, this is the Ty Simpson argument, right? Because my opinion is Fernando Mendoza is going to be very, very average in the NFL. I think he has so many stylistic changes he has to make that I just don't see how do you take a guy in Fernando Mendoza who has to do so many things different to succeed at the NFL level? How do you take that guy who doesn't have the skill set that, again, what's allowed Caleb Williams to be better is he's had the skill set that you need, and now he's got the perfect offensive coordinator. Fernando Mendoza doesn't have that varying arm slot, full mobility, ability to read defenses in multiple sets and different, like, I think if you look at Dante Moore and Ty Simpson, if I'm Dante Moore, I'm going back to Oregon. This is not even a
discussion.
I think he has so many flaws that he has to fix that I don't think that you can even play this game. He's got to go back, and I think he is, right? But if you're Ty Simpson, I think you're doing the exact right thing coming out now. I think when you look at even like a guy like Mel Kiper, if he's got Fernando Mendoza number 1, right? And what does he say Fernando Mendoza's number 1 trait is? Ball placement. So I think that's
I like Mendoza as an NFL prospect more than you do. I think I would agree that he has some things he needs to work on. One of the things that for me stands out with Mendoza is how smart he is. I disagree that he doesn't read defenses. I would more say he's not asked to. He is asked to go to his number one option. If it's not there, go to your number two option. And they do that with him because they don't want him to take punishment. They don't want him to take any more hits than he needs to, which I understand. But if you're Tom Brady and you're leading your organization here, both in coaching and then I would assume in the draft, I would be a big fan of Mendoza because I think Mendoza has shades of who Tom was coming into the draft. Not a super athletic guy, can run a bit, but that's not really a big part of his game. A guy that in the NFL is going to need to beat defenses with his mind, not his arm, and he's going to be a pocket passer. I think his ball placement is excellent. It's elite. He understands how to play that little cat and mouse game with where he puts the ball. But it's going to take Fernando getting to an organization that has guys like Tom Brady who can say, hey, dude, this is what it takes when your quarterback build is what it is. You need to be, prepared to a level that hasn't been seen since me and Peyton were playing. Like you need to know, hey, this is what protection I need. And this is where the ball should go based on the protection and based on what the defense is doing. You have to be able to do that inside of 10 seconds. And if you can't do it, you're not going to succeed at the NFL level. But I think he can do it. I think he's really smart. He just isn't they're not using half of his potential right now at the college level.
Yeah, we'll find out. That the record books are littered with dudes who are Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
But he landed in a terrible spot. Will he land in a terrible spot with the Raiders? We'll find out. The Monty Show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. And you never reach into your pocket to pay the Advocates. You have nothing to lose. You don't pay them a penny to get clear risk-free advice. Right now, theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.